96.1 FM and 87.7 FM. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. All things diesel for over 26 years. Now, here are your hosts, Peter and CJ.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Sports 56 Mornings. No Peter again today, just CJ. No some like Zach, John Harden on the other side. We got a fun show to get to. We're going to talk some about Rambassador and what the hell that means. We're also going to talk some MLB as the commissioner spoke yesterday about possibly bringing the season back starting in June, a lot of doubleheaders, and maybe a change to the inning rules. So instead of 9, they may be looking at taking it down some. So we'll talk some about that. Of course, we're going to get into some Tiger King talk. Everybody watched episodes 3 and 4 yesterday, I trust. Oh boy, that is something special. Of course, we got the wheel still. We got the wheel. We will spin the conversation wheel at the 7:50 segment. In the 7:50 segment, so third segment of the show, last segment of the first hour, we will spin that wheel, and we will have that wheel conversation second segment of the second hour at 8:30. We will also be joined by John Gassaway, our weekly guest. No college basketball on the hardwood. This is Sweet 16 Elite 8 week, and unfortunately, we are without that. John, you're not on, homie.
Just need to know when the Tiger King is.
Might move Tiger King up.
Yeah, because I got to bounce, man.
We might have to move it up to 8:30.
I think we need to.
We'll move it up to 8:30 to get into the Tiger King because, oh, my gosh, it went from bad to worse yesterday.
Talking to Honey, I felt like, you know why we feel so good about finishing it?
Why?
Because we finished it.
My God, that show.
Because now you can talk to people about real crazy people.
Oh, my gosh. This is bad. We have to eat this. We as a country have to take this L. Like, there's nothing you can
Yes,
say.
sir.
This is on all of us. Everybody. I know that the Joe Exotic is from Florida, right?
You know, the thing about him is, I know his zoo is in Oklahoma.
His zoo is in Oklahoma.
He hates Carol Baskins in Florida, so he does a lot of time there, but I'm pretty sure Joe Dirt is from Oklahoma.
Okay, so Oklahoma, we stretch from Oklahoma to Florida to South Carolina to Ohio with some of this.
To Los Angeles.
To L.A. Like, you're excited. We're going to get there at 8:30.
Just a reminder, I got one sports angle. You'll see Shaq in the episode.
Oh, my gosh.
You haven't made it to Shaq yet.
You
did see that
Shaq
part?
was the first episode.
Oh, did he thank him in the first episode?
Yeah, where he's walking around on the property holding
right.
the Cubs. Yes. Celebrities, big time. We all are responsible for this nonsense.
Again, congressmen.
All of us look bad because we allow this in our community. We all have to
in our country.
In our country. Like, we all have to take it. But we'll talk Tiger King. Was it Tiger King : Murder Mystery Mayhem?
Dude.
What's the full title?
I'm going to pull it up, but the one I made up yesterday was pretty good. But I think it's Tiger King Mayhem, Murder, and Mystery.
There we go. So we'll talk that at 8:30.
I really liked mine, Joe Dirt on Meth.
There it is. So we'll talk that at 8:30. MLB commissioner, like I said, I made some announcements. We got John Gassaway joining us at 8. A couple of college basketball news and notes. Obi Toppin making an announcement. Cole Anthony's waiting to make his. We'll touch on Cole Anthony and his situation as well. And J.D. Durant. We tried to call J.D. yesterday. J.D. was asleep. J.D.'s like me.
Bro, I felt like I was calling the wrong number or something. You know I was freaking out over here.
Yeah, don't freak out. Don't. This is
because,
right
I talked to J.D., and that's why I was thinking to myself, man, I know I'm not that messed up. But it was early.
Like me, he's lost all track of time. I don't know
I
if
have
anybody,
to.
Okay.
I sleep now
sure.
like what with my old time, like when I used to do my show. That's when I nap now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Text in 67129, 67129. If this is your first time texting us on the First Bank text line, text 56JOIN. That's 56JOIN to 67129 and be a part of the show. You can also call in 360-8255 on the First Bank phone lines to be a part of the show. We've had some great calls this week. Want to continue that streak. Some great texts this week as well. We want to continue both of those streaks. And I want to know, like, has time lost all meaning for you? Because it has for me. It is.
Except for this. Like, this is the only thing I look for. And I never in my life thought that work was going to be the greatest part of my day ever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've always said 1 to 3 is my favorite, time of the day, period. Well, on most days, there's always, maybe a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, maybe a little better. But 1 to 3 was my love. And now it's the only thing I have to look forward is coming in here and hang out with you in the morning, because after that, it's home, basically back to quarantine.
It is. I'm with you, John. Very necessary. We all need to be doing this. But now I get home at like 10:30 as opposed to 2:30 or 3 o'clock some days.
Oh, yeah. I used to get home like at 7.
And my wife is there now. She's a teacher.
Oh, yeah. My girlfriend hadn't left, by the way, and now she's annoying as can be.
Thank you.
Sorry if she's not listening. She's asleep, I think.
Thank you to all the teachers out there trying to come up with lesson plans for kids to do at home, knowing full damn hell well that the kids are barely focused or aren't focused enough in the classroom when you are in front of them. Trying to get them to focus at home when you are nowhere around. Whoo! Thank you, teachers. I feel your pain. I feel your struggle. But my wife is home. So usually when I get off work, I wait for her to come home because she gets in about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I'm up so I can spend time with her. But she's at the house. We spend like 4 or 5 hours together. And then it is, you want to go to sleep? Yes, but no, it's 6 o'clock. But like, come on, what are you doing tomorrow anyways? Like, you can wake up at 4 and we could do this all over again. She's like, you know what? Yes, let's go to sleep. We ended up going to Ching's Wings. We ended up swinging by there, and this takeout is serious. You call them when you get out front, and then they bring the food to you. And they were Lysoling the money you were handing them also.
Now, that is effective, I think.
So
Lysol Long will become a thing, I think, because I think I got it.
when Peter was in here spraying it, my God. But anyways, and Peter picked me up on game. I didn't know this because I don't read the instructions on how to use this stuff. I just use it and think I'm doing it the right way. You got to spray and let sit for 10 minutes. That is how it works. It kills some on contact. It kills some microbes on contact, but it takes about 10 minutes for it to get the rest. So you got to spray and let sit. So we went out, local establishment, spending money in the community. Please, again, I left a tip. Please, again, consider that because there are people hurting. Tip for the servers and the staff in the kitchen. Please consider doing that when you go grab some of this takeout. But anyways, we did that, and we got home, and we ate. It was like, hey, you know what? I'm tired of watching TV. You want to go to sleep? Sure. Yet the sun is up at 5:30, but yeah, we can lay it down and go to sleep, and that's what we did. There's nothing to look forward to. There's no sports to watch. Like, that was another thing that kept me up. It was, I could take a nap, I could go to sleep, but I'm not going to wake up in time to watch the Bucks play the Celtics, or I'm not going to wake up in time to see the final game of the night in the NCAA tournament. So that kept me up as well. Now with nothing, like, your boy goes to sleep and wakes up at like 2 and gets the day started at 2 in the morning. All concept of time has been lost on me. It's hard.
Can I tell you a little thing that we started doing that's like, we do this, I got a regular thing that we've been doing because I got a buddy John down there. What's up, Mr. Crawford? Sorry, I don't know if he wants the last name drop, but whatever.
just do it anyway.
Yo, what's up, John?
Give a social security number out while you're
No, I'm not going to do that. But a couple gentlemen, we have like this thing where, because, like I said, we're getting home early. Mm-hmm. So John is up probably now listening, and he's doing his exercise. Mm-hmm. My other gentleman, I'm not going to put him on blast because, he's a coach, and I don't want to do that to him. He's got a lot. Anyway, yeah, we'll just forget I tell occupations. Anyway, so we have a 10-foot, we're 10 feet apart, and we meet about 10:30 every day.
Yeah.
and we're like kind of, I just walk out, yo, ready? And then John will usually be walking in, and we just like one dude's on the balcony, one dude's like 15 feet from me, and then I'm just out front because I'm out. I just got home.
Okay.
And we pour a big old fat shot of Jameson, and we all have a shot together.
Okay.
At 10:30 in the morning.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Hey, I'm already done working. John goes and gets his workout in so he don't feel bad.
Got you. That makes sense, man. We're all trying to do some creative things in this trying.
Now you know why I'm asleep by 1.
I do. That it all makes sense. Thank goodness liquor stores are considered essential. It's hard to start any
Yeah, but
show.
I stocked up. I don't need to go for at least 2 months.
Even with the quarantine?
Bro, I'm telling you, I got it 2 months. I didn't know how long this thing was going to last. I didn't know if essential, I didn't know that, liquor stores were considered essential. So I bought a case.
Yeah. Hard to start any show without giving a report on what's going on with that Rona. As it is still out there, still going strong. But thankfully we got
yesterday it
staff.
kicked a lot of butt.
Yeah. What we're seeing right now is the ramifications, is the result
of not
from 2 weeks ago.
Self-quarantining, yeah.
2 weeks ago.
When I was screaming.
So yes, New York is hit really bad, and yes, they are struggling. Now New Orleans and Louisiana are beginning to feel it. Now Florida's beginning to feel it. Because 2 weeks ago was spring break time and was Mardi Gras time, and that was when we couldn't get young people to understand the seriousness and the severity of this thing. So now they're catching it right now as well. John, you said that the road was packed with people today.
Yeah, I was very confused. This has been one of the things that I've been enjoying, that I can get here in 15 minutes because you just hop on the interstate and it's like Autobahn. Bam! You know what I mean? And I love that because nobody's out there. Even a cop, he was out there, and I went past him 100 miles an hour, and he must have been asleep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm talking about these were days before.
Yes.
Today, I got on the interstate, 18-wheelers, normal cars. I can't pass nobody. Everybody's blocking people off. They're also coming off the 55, from Mississippi. I'm like, where the hell did all these people come from?
Please. I don't know if my voice matters, and I imagine that it doesn't carry as much weight as the CDC and local governments and state
They ain't even
governments.
listening to CDC, so
But
maybe
please,
they'll listen to CJ.
I don't know, man. If you don't got to go, stay home. If you're not going to pick up some essential supplies, if you're not going to go for a walk, if you're just out just to be out, I know that we are all a bit stir crazy, but please stay home to the best of your ability. The wife and I, we leave once a day for exercise, recreation. So we will walk down on the river. We'll walk around Shelby Farms. We'll walk Overton Park, and then we come home. Like that. That's it. And be sure to keep your distance 6 feet away from everybody, at least 6 feet away. If you don't got to be out, don't be out. Some of this, though, is everybody is, it seems like everybody is considered essential. So some of those people may have been going to work. But listen, if you got a little boo thing, and you trying to call them up, hit them up, have them swing through the crib, just don't do that.
You know how lucky you would have been if you if you really liked a girl and she was not that into you, but kind of into you, and then you got quarantined with her? She'd be loving on you now.
She have to.
Or you might be dead.
Well, as we saw with, what's the homie's wife? What's the homie name? Carol?
Carol Baskins.
All right. So please stay off the roads. Please. Good news. We talked some yesterday, John, about the stimulus bill, and it finally passed. $2 trillion stimulus bill passed unanimously, I think 96.
Don't forget, there are also a lot of people don't pay much attention to things like this because I don't know why. That makes sense. But don't forget also the Fed is pumping $4 trillion of liquidity into the market. So the centralized banks will be completely fine, and businesses will be borrowing. They've dropped the rate to 0.25%. I mean, damn.
And so here's my deal. Before we get to my question, here's what that stimulus bill includes: $1,200 to individuals who make up to $75,000 a year, $2,400 to couples who make up to $150,000 a year. You get an additional $500 for each kid. There's a significant boost to unemployment benefits that max out at $600 a week, if I'm not mistaken. Provide laid-off workers full pay for up to 4 months. This includes independent contractors and the self-employed. That's huge. $360 billion in loans for small businesses. $150 billion for local and state governments. $130 billion for hospitals, and they need it. Supplies are short. $500 billion to larger industries and an oversight board to oversee these loans. Here's my thing, John. I can take out a loan as a small business owner. I can take out a loan. That is great. But you're asking me to pay back the loan I took out to keep the business afloat, keep the business going without a month of pay. You see what I'm saying?
But when you have the number one economy in the world and you're making multiple millions, as most of these CEOs are, I'm not talking about your mom and pop shop who's making like $70,000 a year. I'm talking about, Jamie Dimon, who's giving himself a $19 million bonus and things like that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about them either. I'm more concerned
usually
with the
the
small
mom and
businesses.
Here's just to give you an example. One of the things, just to give an example of one of the things that I constantly come in here and harp on, and people are probably going to roll their eyes. But what is one of the things I complain about most? The cost of college education and the fact that the endowments at these institutions are larger than almost any regular business other than like Amazon or FedEx or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the Fortune 500, if they include universities, I think it was 128 of them or 26 of them or something would be in the Fortune 500.
Right.
Harvard has an endowment of $40 billion, damn it. It's the largest. But yet Harvard is so, they say they're so woke. Harvard breeds nothing but like basically liberalism and all this great stuff. I mean, heck, remember they paid Elizabeth Warren $400,000 to teach one class because she was a damn Indian, remember? Not. But they just laid off 270 employees that work at the university, that work in the dining halls, and they're not going to pay them. By the way, it's $80,000 a semester to go there.
And students don't, from my understanding, it's pay if you can because the endowment is so large. And I'm with you on that.
Oh, they pay. They accept on it. Listen, the ones that don't pay are less than 4%. I got it right here in front of me.
Okay, I hear you on that. That is a separate conversation. I'm not trying.
Well, I'm just saying it's still business.
I don't want
I'm just
to
saying
have,
a school is still a business, and they have employees. They have 270 that they laid off.
I don't want to talk about that right now. We will talk about it, but not right now. What I'm talking
but they're
about
doing this because of the Rona?
Right now, what I'm talking about is the small businesses. That's what I'm talking about right now. So we'll put the bigger businesses to the side. The small business as it pertains to them. When I bring up the fact that they can take out small business loans, great, but you're still asking
Well, they're also getting a grant right now that they don't have to pay back. Yeah.
I didn't see anything about
yeah, reading that bad boy. Okay. They're getting they're going to get a fat check that's going to help the small businesses.
That they don't have to pay back.
That they do not have to pay back.
Perfect. And that's
But
fine.
It's not for them to make money or put in their pocket. It's for them to pay their employees over this. And that's what some of the language was the fighting over. It's like, hey, we're going to give these small businesses some money. Mm-hmm. What are we giving these small businesses money for? To keep their employees paid during this crisis. Not to go ahead and just realistically like stick money or buy more product or whatever. No, they're going to have money set aside for that. And again, that's kind of what business is. You take almost a 0% interest loan to fill your shelves and sell it marked up at 50%. That's what the American dream is.
I just want to make sure that the workers are looked out for, and the small businesses, and that is where I was because I missed the whole grant part of the bill. So
problem is a lot of people are not going to know how the hell to get it.
And is it enough money? Because we've got a lot of small businesses. All right, the big business conversation, that is something different. That is.
Big business, by the way, if you hadn't noticed, is showing their big old face. You want me to say?
They need to make sure these big businesses are looking out for their employees. You brought up the CEOs who give $19 million bonuses to themselves, who stipulate in their contract they get this many millions. We need to be making sure that this money does not go to fatten those pockets. This money does not go to stock buybacks. Now we can talk about Harvard, John, if you're ready for this. The ridiculousness that is the fact that you are sitting on $40 billion. You're a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you're laying people off. Like, that can't happen. That shouldn't be the case. And you're laying them off without pay.
Nothing. No assistance at all. You just literally fired 270 people.
That strain on the economy is going to be felt, especially at the local level. So we need to be making sure that, I'm not saying that they're doing this, John, but I'm saying the larger companies like your Walmarts, your FedExes, your Krogers, the airline industry in general, make sure that when you are loaning them the money, all well and good, but that money that's being lent is going to workers and going to the everyday man, not going to the monster that is the company so that they can continue to just churn out money at the expense of everyday Americans being suffering the casualties.
Now, to bring this back up and bring it full circle so everybody who starts Googling and checking this to make them laugh really hard, again, it's a $40.9 billion endowment to be exact. And the president of Harvard and his wife both tested positive for the Rona. And then after all the public just going absolutely crazy, they have announced today that they will be paying now 30 days' wages after the shutdown. But isn't it weird how it takes 4 days of negative press and people just calling you out before you do the right thing? And then when you talk about karma, you lay all these people off, and then 3-4 days later, you don't feel good, you go get tested, and you and your wife get the Rona. Again, I'll just say karma.
We got more to get to. We're going to talk more about what's going on in the world of the coronavirus. Please text in, call in. We got some texts to get to as well. 67129 on the First Bank text line. 360-8255 on the First Bank phone lines. And don't forget, we've got John Gassaway coming up at 8. We've got Tiger King talk at 8:30. We're going to talk to J.D. Duran at 9. We got all of that and more. Don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallow and Stats. Weekday afternoons from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
So this time of the year, Humdinger's is the place to go for Lent. We offer salmon, tilapia, swahi, rainbow trout, mahi, crab cakes, ahi tuna, anything you need, including our shrimp and grits. You can get any of those with our fish toppings, and you can also get them blackened with pineapple salsa, piri-piri mushroom, black bean corn salsa. Humdingers is also in the wedding business. We are doing catering for weddings, any social events, any corporate events. You can dial our hotline at 901-260-8292.
I'm Joe Coy, stand-up comedian, and I'm here to toast my mother. Sam Adams is the best beer for this toast. It's grassroots, it's family. What I take from that is the same thing that I got from my mom. Mom, when you came to this country, it was to give the kids an opportunity that you knew that you would never have. Thank you for everything you sacrificed. So this is for you.
I'm so proud of you.
And I love you so much. Oh my God, bottoms up. Slow down, lady.
That's good.
Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Savor the flavor responsibly.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. Sports 56 Mornings.
Yeah,
Peter
I can't
and
talk,
CJ.
people. Y'all can't call me. I'm not been doing this long enough.
Welcome back in. John Harden on the other side doing his best. That's all we ask.
That's all we can do
That's
right
all
now,
we
baby.
ask.
All we can do.
Text it in. You can too. 67129 on the First Bank text line. 360-8255 on the First Bank phone lines. First text says, Jameson rules. That is about Johnny. If you missed it, Johnny goes home. Show ends. He gets home about 10:30. Takes a shot with he and some of his neighbors. They are maintaining.
We are all apart. One of them's on the balcony. Another one's like, he just comes back from the run. Then he goes, grabs it. And, he's about, honestly, like 30, 40 feet away from it. But we all cheers each other.
They
Salute.
maintain social distancing. Another texter says, Harvard employees can draw unemployment. It's not much, but it helps. True. They can do that. It's not much. It's not enough. And Harvard's got the money. That's the other thing.
Again, it's not about
Billions.
the $350 you can get on unemployment. And why do you want to be on the government's dime or taxpayers when we're already in debt when you have somebody that's sitting on a $40.9 billion, not million. This is a university, $40.9 billion endowment.
And all that endowment does is sit there and make money. Like, that's it. So even if they lost some of that endowment, and it wouldn't be billions, it would be couple $100 million, I would imagine. They're not playing.
They ain't losing
They're not
jack.
playing.
When's the university ever lost $1? All their listen, they don't pay their teachers jack, except for if you're Elizabeth Warren. They don't pay, the adjunct professors. Their land is all donated. They go out and beg. That they have the whole departments that do nothing but call rich people all day and beg for money. And they get it.
So,
that this one annoys me.
The money just sits there. So they can make that back without having to do much of anything. It's just sitting there in some sort of trust fund, in some sort of high interest account, collecting interest. And that is how the endowments continue to make money. And John is right. They keep going out there. All universities are going out there asking alumni to give. And alumni do give. And Harvard alums have a lot of money to give. So they could be fine. Paying these workers in this time of quarantine and this temporary shutdown that we are seeing. New York, oh boy, New York is being hit hard by all of this. It is expected for morgues. That's the new epicenter of the coronavirus and of the pandemic. It is expected for morgues to reach capacity by next week. They are going out right now and removing the basketball goals on 80 basketball courts in the city because they can't get people to stop playing pickup basketball. I don't understand. I do understand. We are very bored right now. So they want to people want to go out and do something. Go for a walk. That is go for a jog. Keep proper distance, but those are things of a bike ride. Rollerblade. Those are things you can do. Pick up basketball is not one of the things you can do. That's not something you should be out there doing, folks.
There is a house in New Orleans.
It's got the Rona.
New Orleans is now ramping up. So we've gotten from the, hey, we need to stop this and slow this thing down some before we get to the hospitalization phase. We're beginning the hospitalization phase in New Orleans and in Florida, and those are picking up steam as well. And it's because 2 weeks ago you couldn't get people to stop going to beaches. No, it's spring break, whatever. Don't be out in Mardi Gras. Nope, it's Mardi Gras. I got it. Okay, whatever. And it's spring break. Okay, whatever. And this is where we are now. So the measures that have been put in place, we won't know the true effects of them for 2 weeks because it takes about 14 days for the virus to cycle through and for the symptoms to start emerging and for you to have that shortness of breath and need to be seen by a medical professional. Good news is up in New York, there's signs that density control measures are working. So I think as recently as Tuesday, they were seeing their hospitalization rates double every 2.5 days. Now it is every 5 days. That's what they were seeing Wednesday and yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So it's working. Social distancing is working. We just have to continue to do it. Also good news, New York got 11,000 additional ventilators, but they're still projected to be about 19,000 short. So that is something that, for whatever reason, we can't seem to get enough ventilators for these and medical supplies, PPEs for these medical professionals who are on the front lines of this thing. And again, I can't imagine what the reaction would be like if we sent soldiers to war with inadequate gear or not enough bullets or something like that. We'd all lose our collective minds. The fact that medical professionals are out there reusing masks, and I saw a hospital using trash bags as gowns because they're out of gowns. Like that's something that should concern us all and make us all want more to be done. Other people are stepping up, though, specifically the toy manufacturing industry. We talked some about Hollywood and how Hollywood movies, television shows that have medical supplies, your Grey's Anatomies and New Amsterdams of the world who have medical supplies have been just giving them to hospitals. Well, the toy manufacturing company, they're getting into it as well. The factories are beginning to churn out things like ventilator valves, hand sanitizer, goggles, and masks. MGA Entertainment Inc., Lil Tykes Toy Factory, Crazy Errands, and more are just saying, you know what, we'll stop. And it makes sense for them to be able to do this because they just stop and say, hey, listen, if we had a toy that really began to take off, we can change on a dime. We can change real quick, and we can get things rolling and make all of this one toy. You have to be able to do that sort of thing in the toy manufacturing industry since they're considered non-essential anyway. They're like, well, we can go ahead and start churning out medical supplies now and give those to the various hospitals that need them, with an emphasis being placed on New York, Washington, and California. So that is huge. That is a real big. Like I said, we can't get people to stop playing pickup basketball. I didn't realize how big a role pickup basketball played in our everyday society. But like I saw some dudes playing pickup ball Monday, I want to say. The precinct got police tape. So it's a police station there, first off. So the police station is there at the precinct right here off Mount Moriah. And then they put police tape around the court to discourage people, let people know, hey, don't be playing pickup ball right here. And again, people, all we ask is that for the time being, we practice a little bit of social distancing. We'll know if it worked in about, how long have we been doing this, John? About a week and a half? Here in Memphis.
At least.
Yeah, time. Well, again, John and I have lost all concept of time and days. I didn't realize it was Thursday. But so we are about another week away from knowing if this is working to slow down the spread, and it is. And it is. Because we've seen it in other places. Take New York, for example. New York City, to be specific, for example. They just got to the point to where they were quarantining early last week, and they're already seeing a decrease in hospitalizations. Now, the issue is that they weren't quarantining 2 weeks ago. And that is why that number is really high. And like I said, FEMA's getting involved up in New York City because they're expected to just run out of morgues. Like that's how many deaths they're expecting from this. So bringing it to a sports standpoint, because Corona is affecting everything in sports. We all know that while there's no college basketball going on right now, on the hardwood, people are making announcements. Cole Anthony is one of those people making announcements, or who we are expecting to make an announcement about whether or not he's going to enter the draft. I didn't know this. I don't know how many of you know this, but Cole Anthony hails from New York, which is the epicenter of the outbreak right now. And he had this to say. He put this on Instagram yesterday. He said, quote, a lot of people have been asking me if I'm going to declare for the NBA draft. Anyone who knows me understands that playing in the NBA has been a lifelong dream of mine. But given the pain that America and the world are experiencing at this time, I am going to refrain from making any announcements around that topic. Instead, I believe the platform I have been blessed to create because of the game I love so much should be used for a higher purpose in this moment. That does not mean I will stop being a kid and enjoying social media, TikTok, etc. But living in New York City, the coronavirus hits hard. My family and I know many people directly affected by the coronavirus, many hospitalized, a few in critical condition, and one person who has died. New York City is experiencing the highest number of coronavirus cases in the United States. So my biggest concern right now is trying to figure out how I can help during this crisis. We're all in this together. Stay safe. Like, it is real out there. And Cole Anthony is being affected by it. He's got Donovan Mitchell and other professionals giving him kudos, congratulations on that level of maturity. But he's being hit by this. New York as a city, as a state, is being impacted by this tremendously, greatly. How can you in good conscience then, like, pick a league, NBA, with the Knicks and the Nets there, think we can go out there and play these games here in May? Mark Cuban said before June is what he was thinking about and what he thinks can be a very real possibility. Mayor de Blasio said yesterday, any thought about things in New York returning to normal sometime in April is wrong. Don't get your hopes up. It's just not going to happen. How can you have NBA games in a city that's being hit this hard by the coronavirus? That is what is concerning to me. And in a time where I know, trust me, I know we need an escape. We need sports in a way that we haven't needed it before. We still have to make sure it's safe. Make sure that we are going about this the right way and we are doing this the right way. Even if it means sports can come back without fans, that's fine. I'm cool with that. But to just have sports coming back and running the risk of the athletes catching the coronavirus and having complications from it, or them catching it and passing it on to a family member or a loved one, and then that person has a complication from the coronavirus, or they spread it to somebody who spreads it to a couple more people, and we get right back to the point where we're trying to avoid that peak in the curve. It just doesn't seem worth it. We heard Karl Anthony Towns yesterday. If you guys missed it, go to Karl Anthony Towns' Instagram page and watch that video of him talking about his mother. And for those of you who missed it, his mother has been placed in a medically induced coma because of complications from the coronavirus. Both parents were hospitalized because of complications from the coronavirus. Dad got to leave the hospital. Mom was suffering, and she had to be put in a medically induced coma. So go and watch that video. Cole Anthony talking about how he knows people because he's from New York. He lives in New York. He knows people who have been hospitalized and are in critical condition, and a person who has died from complications from the coronavirus. Like, this is real. And if we're not taking the necessary precautions, it can get worse. It can absolutely get worse. And it's one thing to miss out on NBA games. and have the season pick back up in June or July, or have MLB start in June, July. It's one thing to miss out on the Olympics. But there's a very real chance now that if you don't take this seriously, if you aren't practicing appropriate social distancing, if you aren't washing your hands thoroughly, if this virus continues to spread throughout our communities and at various levels, be it the local community, the state community, regional, and nationwide, football is very likely to be stopped. And we don't want that. We don't want football to be postponed. That would just make this year all the more worse. All right, so let's all take this seriously and think about what we're doing. Got more to get to on the other side. Don't forget, John Gasaway is going to join us at 8 o'clock. We're going to talk something about Cole Anthony, Obi Toppin,
By the way,
and more.
I wanted to mention one thing because I haven't done Hardwood all week, and I do have a couple crazy stories. Like there's a place you can get free porn during coronavirus and things like that. If you want to touch, what, free? No. Those places do not exist. Not unless you want to get a virus like the corona.
We'll talk about that on the other side though, because I'm pretty sure you can. We'll talk. We'll talk about where you. Do you
want to do it safely, or do you want to get the virus?
It's just me involved. Are you talking about what are you talking about?
I'm talking about your computer getting a virus.
Oh no. Yeah, we'll talk. I got to hip John to some stuff. We'll be right back right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
Stop waiting and start off-road living in a Can-Am today. The Spring Fever event is now on at Olive Branch Motorsports. Take on every task, trail, and terrain in a Can-Am off-road vehicle that will easily handle anything that comes your way. And for a limited time, get up to $2,500 off on select 2019 models, making it easier than ever to go out and play. Visit Olive Branch Motorsports now at 5656 Goodman Road or online at obmotorcycleatv.com.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family-friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
It's not too early to start planning for spring at Family Leisure. New pools are starting at $19.99, spas starting at $21.99, and swim spas now only $99.99. 5-piece patio furniture starts at only $799. Pool chemicals, toys, accessories, and more up to 20% off. Mention this ad, you'll get free delivery and 1 month of chemicals with your spa purchase. Start your spring planning now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Here's a message for all you station surfers out there, you changers of the channel. I get it. Life's too short to hang around waiting for something better. So why haven't you made the move to Southland? Maybe you don't like playing longer on the largest slot floor in the region, or maybe you just enjoy the longer drive. But if you think getting there is half the fun, you're probably not having that much fun. Southland Casino Racing. Surprise yourself. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 1-800-522-4700.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
What's the theme today?
I'm gonna go a little bit all on the board on things I just like.
Oh, so this is
Animal, House of the Rising Sun.
This is just John Harden like mix. Okay.
Yup.
DJ
Oh, and by
Harden
the way,
on
just to
ones
tell y'all, I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I'm a libertarian. I'm an equal opportunity. No Democrat, no Republican. Nobody's done jack for me. So quit texting me. Yeah, Tate Reeves needs to do stuff down and get people evacuated, but I don't need political text.
Texas have texted in on the First Bank text line, 67129. You can text the show political text, just don't address them to John Harden.
That's exactly right.
Just text the show, man. 67129, First Bank Texas.
Because I'll bring the forefathers.
Texas says 30 days is good. I don't know. It might not be enough. Texas also says, do you think college and high school football will play out? It's hard, man. For me, it's hard to envision that. I look at what is going on. And while this football does not require everybody in the globe being there, the Olympics is postponed. And that is around the time we get training camps and fall practices starting up at the high school, college, and professional level. That's hard, man. I don't know. Another Texas says, how much of the $500 billion slush fund directed by Republicans will end up in Trump.org? They haven't listened to laws yet, so why would they abide by this bill? It's in place. Part of the
that.
Yeah, one of the things that was.
Did you see that $25 million extra thing that's going to some reason like Senate pay or raises or something too? They snuck in there.
One of the
don't get me wrong, they're politicians. They're twisted.
One of the things that has been put in the bill is that none of the money can go to any Trump establishment, Trump property, or anything like that. That is in the bill, and that is a part of why this oversight board to oversee this is important, to make sure that we watch out for that. Another texter says, have y'all talked about the Republican governor of Mississippi demanding Tupelo not stay at home? Well, here's the deal.
Dude, he was talking about abortion yesterday instead of the Rona.
Let's not
like, dude, isn't this the wrong time?
There's no need to say Republican. Like, we're trying to score points here. Like, that is what
we're trying to be
on.
human beings.
We're trying to score points here. So Democrat did this, Republican did that, and stupid is stupid. Like that, inappropriate is inappropriate regardless of political affiliation. It is wrong in this time to do anything other than quarantine.
Correct.
And only have essential staff out there, regardless of affiliation.
Just so you know, the Rona don't care what you are if you're anything. It doesn't even care if you're white, black, male, female. It don't care.
So you can say, did you see what the Republican governor in Mississippi did? I can say, did you see the Republican governor in Ohio being one of the first to decide to impose the shelter-in-place or safer-at-home order? So let's not view it through that prism. I don't think this is the time for that. But again, stupid is stupid. Inappropriate is inappropriate.
There's any time for bipartisan, it's like right now during a damn global pandemic.
So, no, to answer your question, Texter, I did not see that. I did not see that at all. That is surprising. And while you don't, this is a tough thing to get people to understand, that the measures you put in place today won't be seen, the results of which they won't be seen for 2 weeks, that you're not going to see it immediately. It takes 2 weeks for you to finally see the results from measures you've been put in place today. It's a lot like taking a test. You don't fail a test when you take it. You fail it the
you mean when you're after it?
You fail it the weeks before. Okay. John Harden, ladies and gentlemen.
If the girl next to you didn't study.
You fail it the weeks before when you weren't preparing. The test is just shows us how much you did the weeks prior. That is when you fail the test. So you fail. That's when you fail, not when it's actually going on. It's over with by that point. So I say that to say the results that we're seeing right now aren't because of something that was done yesterday. It's something that was done 2 weeks ago. So if you're encouraging people to go out, non-essential people to go out and go about business as usual and life as usual, you're going to see something really bad in 2 weeks. Brazil is going through this right now. Their president he's on something different, but they're going through this where everything looks fine now. It's not that big a deal now, and then bow. In 2 weeks, all of a sudden, you're overwhelmed. And that is what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid mass hospitalizations because when you get to that point, People die from things that they shouldn't be dying from. Life goes on. The coronavirus has not stopped complications from diabetes or complications from heart disease. People are still out there having accidents that may require stitches or some type of surgery. Babies are still being born. Like, those things are still happening. And on top of those things still happening, we have this pandemic and people with very real complications from this pandemic. So we don't want the people with the real complications from this pandemic to jump on top of our hospital system, because that can be overwhelming and that can lead you down a very dark road. Look at Italy and what they've been going through and how.
By the way, Italy, the number 2 medical system in the world.
About a week ago or so, they were talking about, going about life as usual, and people weren't really heeding the warnings, and about their medical system gets overwhelmed, and very treatable diseases people were dying from, or very treatable symptoms they were dying from, because it just weren't enough to go around. There weren't enough beds to go around. There weren't enough ventilators to go around, and people died from something that could have been prevented. So please, everybody, again, do your part. We talked some about Cole Anthony and his IG post about waiting to make his announcement about whether or not he's going pro.
Carl Anthony?
Cole Anthony.
Cole.
Not Carl Anthony Towns, Cole Anthony.
Oh, you're not talking about the Rona.
No. Obi Toppin made his announcement official. He is definitely going pro. He is, depending on where you're looking, somewhere between like 6-10, 6-11 on most people's mock drafts. And so that is interesting. He is super athletic. Some of the best dunks in the league, in college basketball came this year from Obi Toppin. He looks to be a fun, electric player at the next level. I wonder what his game translates to, because everybody's athletic in the NBA, and you're not at Dayton playing. What conference is Dayton in? Atlantic.
A10?
Yeah, the Atlantic 10. So you're not playing the A10. You're playing some of the best athletes in the world. I wonder how his game will translate to the next level. And hell,
just ask Steph and John Morant, baby. Little schools, man. Little ballers. Damian Lillard.
Yeah, but
Obi's a big dude, I know.
They're different. Because
that's true.
They were skilled in college the way most weren't. Obi Toppin, to me, doesn't seem to be
He's a small dude who has
skilled.
athleticism.
He is super athletic. And is he small? I thought Obi was like 6'8".
He's small. That's what I'm saying. In the NBA, yeah, that's a small dude.
Okay. I forget that.
I mean,
that.
like look at our point guards. They're 7, like Giannis, LeBron. I mean, again, people want to say LeBron's any other thing than a point guard. What the hell? What do you mean? He brings the ball down every damn time.
No, he's a point guard now. At this point in his career, he's made the switch to point guard. Created some nice mismatch.
Greek freak, how tall is he? How is Giannis really? Like, what, 7?
6'10", 6'11"?
He's almost 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is 6'10", you know?
Yeah.
They're big, yo. 6'8", that's what I'm saying.
You forget about
guards or 6'10" now.
You forget about these size Kevin Garnett.
I mean, Ja's a freak at 6'3".
Kevin Durant, excuse me. You forget about the size disparity in the NBA compared to college. We're going to talk about that and more with John Gassaway. So don't you dare touch that dial. Don't you dare leave us. We got John Gassaway. And don't forget, 8:30, John.
Tiger King.
We got all of that and more on the other side. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings right here on Real Sports Talk. 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM.
Say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, You've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting Company. The coronavirus situation is causing a lot of cancellation of events, schools, concerts, sporting events, and all kind of social gatherings. It's called social distancing, but you do not have to be distant mentally from everyone in the community because Flynn Broadcasting is with you. We love you. We want to make sure that you are connected and protected from the coronavirus. So keep listening to this Flynn Broadcasting station. We'll keep you informed, we'll keep you in touch, and we'll keep you connected to your friends. So as soon as this situation is over, we can go back to our normal living. I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting Company saying we love our community, we love you as individuals, and we are committed to your well-being. I'm Dr. George Flynn with Flynn Broadcasting.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition. And yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hurt. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
As it were your own, it's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken. Perhaps they're better.
Welcome back.
Left unsung.
Sports 56 Mornings. Peter and CJ. CJ here. Peter will be back. Zach will be back also. John Harden on the other side, though. Making magic happen through a magical theme. It's nice out right now. It's nice out. The sun is out, no rain. I didn't see any moisture when I came in, and according to the Doppler doohickey, it feels good. It's going to get up to 84 today. John and I both took the under on the 84, though. I just don't.
It was 85 yesterday, so we put our bet in at 85.
Was it 85 yesterday? I thought, okay, cool. So
wasn't it? We went to 84 is like our magic number.
We'll take 85. We're going with the under the 85, so we'll find out tomorrow whether or not that hit or not. And it's going to be nice on Friday. Friday's going to be nice, about 79, and then the rain comes back because the rain always comes back. It can't leave for too long, otherwise it thinks we forgot about it. We ended the last segment talking about Obi Toppin and his decision to go ahead and forego the rest of his collegiate career and go pro. We got John Gassaway joining us right now from ESPN. John, how's everything been? How's everything holding up for you?
Hey, we're sheltering in place, staying safe, and 84 degrees, huh? Wow. We've still got the furnace on in this part of the country, but maybe what you got coming this way. So it's all good.
Good. How you been holding up without college basketball Sweet 16? Because this is Sweet 16 Elite 8 week, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It will never not feel weird. I've even before this was my job, just as a fan, March meant being parked in front of the TV, and so like I just I do get outside. I've got a dog to walk, but it just it feels weird, wandering around this time of year,
right?
Not obsessing over the bracket and what's going to happen down the line. I've never done this before. I can honestly, maybe when I was 3 years old, and I don't remember it that well. But I mean, since the time I was a little kid, March meant one thing. So it's strange, but this is not the biggest burden anybody's carrying by any means, and I'm appreciative for those who are helping us out.
Yeah, my wife and I, and my siblings, we all get into the bracket. And it's fun because my sister really doesn't watch college basketball, and her bracket always ends up winning. Our bracket pool, me, my father, and my brother, we always do a little something fun, and she always ends up winning because she doesn't watch, I guess, and so her eyes haven't been tainted by what she's seen. She's just like, oh, this team is ranked higher, they're supposed to win. And most of the time it happens. We don't get as many upsets as we think we do in the tournament, which is why we get so worked up for the tournament come March, because the upsets happen, and it's so much fun, and I'm missing out on that, John. Those upsets give me hope. It gave me hope. I could be UMBC. That is what I keep telling myself. The world is Virginia. I'm 16 seed UMBC. I can be them, and I don't have that role model to look up to this year.
And see, that's the beauty of the tournament in particular, is that it hits the sweet spot. There was a UMBC, and we did play 35 years worth of tournaments, and there were 4 16 versus 1 seed games per year, and the 16 seed lost every time for 35 years, except for one time. And, some of us were saying, hey, if we keep playing this tournament long enough, yes, it will happen. Before 2018, that was a question I got every March. Will a 16 seed ever win? And I would always say, yeah, if we keep playing long enough. People would kind of roll their eyes at me. I did not expect it to be Virginia UMBC, but that is the beautiful part of the tournament, is that's what we want in any sport. We want the right balance between upsets and what in college basketball we call chalk, the favorites winning. And if it went too far to one way, if 16 seeds were winning all over the place, then it would just be this random roulette wheel thing, and we wouldn't really be that interested. On the other hand, if the Kentuckys and Dukes won every year and every game, then that would be kind of boring too. The tournament nails it. It's right in the sweet spot, and it's just a thrill to watch, because every team is 40 minutes away from going home. And I guess maybe we'll have one of these next year. We'll hope and watch.
Hopefully. What fun things are you doing to try and kill the time, though, John?
Well, I do have a book to write, and in addition to writing a book, I'm reading. I can plug some good nonfiction if we get that far in this conversation. But walking the dog, doing delayed house projects. All kidding aside, it is kind of good, or it was at first, to have an unscheduled bit of free time, but now even that got old.
Right.
And now I do have kids. They are getting antsy as they should. They're kids. My gosh, I can't imagine what I would have made of this if I were a kid instead of being a boring old person. So we're trying to make it through, definitely.
I don't know how people, hats off to you, I don't know how people with kids are making this work right now, because you're not going to school. My wife is a teacher, and they just sent out packets, work packets for the next 2.5 weeks, and then they'll reassess it and see what's next. But you've got to sit down and you got to try and get them to work on this school work while they are being antsy because they're at home and not in school in a different environment. And like you said, they're kids. Also, it's a bunch of stuff that I have honestly forgotten, and I would have to reteach myself how to do on top of the new math. I don't know if your kids are part of this generation that are doing the new math, but John, let me tell you something. This is impossible for me to understand.
New math?
Yeah, my hope is that my hope is that by not having school for what appears to be, it's already been a couple weeks, and it's stretching out. We don't know how much longer. That even school will be made to seem new and fun in a way that school never was before for anybody in the history of the world that I know of. But it does seem like whenever they go back, it'll be like, wow, school, wow.
I miss this place.
Yeah, this is kind of this is a nice change from just sitting around in my pajamas all day every day and just getting dressed and going into a public space where there are other people my age.
Looking at new people, not seeing the same 4 or 5 every single day.
My son had a friend who texted him yesterday that he was walking in the neighborhood. He stopped in front of our house, and my son went out and they talked to each other, from like 12 feet away, and and it was like the first time in 10 days that they'd seen each other. It's very strange, very strange.
One of the things that I didn't realize, speaking of very strange, was how important pickup basketball was to us as a community. We can't get people off of these pickup basketball courts. It's gotten to the point to now up the street from the station, there's a pretty nice basketball court, John. And they have put police tape around the basketball court to try and discourage people from playing. New York is taking 80 hoops away, taking the cylinders off of 80 basketball goals to try and stop people from, or 80 basketball parks to try and stop people from playing pickup basketball. Did you know pickup basketball was this important?
I hate to see those steps taken. I do. And I don't, I am not the Surgeon General and I'm not a public health authority. And the blame for that rests squarely with people who are playing true pickup basketball at this time. I understand that. I wish the hoops could stay there because my understanding is if you're playing with your ball that you've been, taking good care of, there's certainly nothing wrong with, shooting hoops by yourself. I don't see a problem there. And I grew up doing that because I grew up in a neighborhood where everybody was my older brother's age and there was nobody my age and nobody wanted me on their team. They'd say, get out of here, you suck.
Right.
And so I spent I spent a ton of time just shooting by myself and, you can work on some things. But I understand if people are truly, playing actual pickup hoops and actually playing defense, which is the worst thing you can do at this point in time. To play good defense, you can't be 6 feet away. Then I understand that the drastic measures might be called for. It'll be nice when we can play true pickup hoops again.
It would be interesting to play basketball that way with 6 feet of distance between you and the nearest person. That would be a different way to try and play the game.
Yeah. Insert your joke about your favorite bad defensive team here, right?
I saw a meme because that's what I've been doing, John. Just memes and gifs. That's all I've been doing when I get home. But I saw a meme and it was, hey, if you're not sure about how far 6 feet is, this isn't a college basketball player, but Ben Simmons. Look at where his man is when he's out at the 3-point arc. That is about 6 feet. Yeah. That is about how far you need to be away. It just made me happy.
There's that famous clip from, 2 years ago of Okafor just kind of standing there.
Yep.
Not to pick on Jaleel, but this is rich meme territory, definitely. I don't know. Maybe there could be a version of basketball where you are prohibited from coming within 6 feet. I don't know how that would work. I guess it would just have to be 3-pointers only. Anyway, we'll have to work on that. You've given me a good. I'll have to workshop that up. You've given a pandemic version of basketball. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to work on that. Yeah.
And who decides where you move also? Because everybody's got to be 6 feet away. If the ball is coming to you, but you've already established position, when the ball gets within 5 feet, is that like a charge?
Yeah, and the tricky thing is your rebounds, because you don't know where there's going to go, and you can't have people coming together in pursuit of a rebound. I guess you'd all have to freeze on the floor when the shot goes up,
right?
And then whoever the ball rolls to.
There we go.
That would be an interesting sight. Somebody out there do that, okay? Just put that up on YouTube. What that looks like, it would be interesting.
While there's nothing going on the court, there's been a couple of announcements from players in regard to whether or not they plan on going pro. Around here, Boogie Ellis decided that he was going to come back, and we talked some about Obi Toppin in the last segment. John, I want to get some of your thoughts on his game as he decides that he made the announcement yesterday. I feel like time is all relative. Honestly, I have no clue when things are happening. I feel like it was yesterday. I'm not sure, but yesterday I think Obi Toppin made his announcement that he is going to be leaving Dayton to go pro. How do you think his game translates at the next level?
I think it translates very well, and I'm amazed to see people still in 2020 talking about, he's from the A-10, be sure and adjust for the level of competition. I mean, this is after we've seen Curry, and this is after we've seen Morant, and this is after we've seen Dame Lillard. I mean, we know how to do this. We've seen players come from outside the quote-unquote major conferences and become all-stars. And I'm not promising that Toppin will be an all-star in year 1 or 2. I'm just saying we know how to do this. He was arguably the best player in college basketball this year. And casual observers or people who like to sound smart consistently way overrate the difference between the level of competition in, say, the A-10 and the level of competition in the major conference. I mean, it's measurable, but it's not that big. And the main point is that Toppin dominated. And we did see Toppin play 45 minutes against Kansas in Hawaii, and he had a fantastic game. This is not a problem. He's listed as, mid to late lottery, which feels about right. There have been some great players coming from that section of the draft in the recent past, and he's got game. I mean, he can make threes in addition to being a dunk machine, and that's a really good combination. He'll do well, and I would love to be his agent.
Oh, I would too, because he's going to get a big deal. And it's, I don't know, we do this every year, and you bring up the fact that we've seen guys from smaller conferences, your C.J. McCollums, your Dame Lillards, Kawhi Leonard, also throw him in there on top of Steph Curry and John Morant. We've seen these guys come from small conferences, and I'll throw international players in there as well, the Luka Doncic's and your Giannis's and Kristaps Porzingis's. And there's always that guy or those dudes who want to say that because they didn't play in, SEC or ACC or Big 12, Big 10, Pac-12, that for some reason they should be knocked considerably for the level of competition. But we've seen those guys come in and have really good careers and be the dude on their team at the NBA level. I don't know if do you think it's because we just don't get to see them? They're not the same from a marketability standpoint? That's what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Twitter is not the best guide of draft evaluation. Go figure. And if you have the luxury of having time on your hands, and I realize not all of us do. Many of us are working harder than ever, and if that's you, thank you. And if you're somehow stumbled into listening to this, we all thank you. But if you're like me and you do have the time on your hands to do something like this, you brought up the best example of all being Luka Doncic, and Google that up and what people were saying
Yeah.
before he was drafted, and how this was, the most catastrophic, draft pick ever. And he's soft, and he's European, and he's pudgy, and particularly Google the American players who were abroad and had played with him, and we're trying to tell everybody, no, you're wrong. This guy, take it from me. This guy is really amazing.
Hey, John, and all Luka's done is get his team to the playoffs comfortably in the playoffs, fighting for seeding in his second year. Just a walking triple-double.
If you look at performance in the NBA by age, he is at a LeBron level. I mean, it's just,
at 20.
It's amazing.
What, is he 20? 21 maybe?
Yeah.
Good gosh.
So take anything that I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination Obi Toppin is going to be the next Luka. I'm saying take what Twitter says with a grain of salt, because if you come from anywhere but Kentucky or Duke, there's just who they play.
Right.
Well, guess what? Not everybody in the world can play for Kentucky and Duke, and great players come from everywhere. So good on Obi, and good on the guys who have declared. In my line of business, I do have to track those, because I'm going to write a little something about the best players in the country in college next year. So I have to have a firm handle on who's going to be around and who's not. And we're right in the middle. There are a lot of obvious first-round types that have not declared yet. There's a lot of not first-round types that have declared. More power to them. Good luck. And we'll see where we net out. But closer to home, obviously James Wiseman, that nobody's talking about because he hasn't played in a long time.
Right.
He's going to go really, really high up along the likes of, we think, Anthony Edwards. So should be interesting to watch.
One of the players that is projected to be a lottery pick, but we don't know whether or not he is going to go pro, Cole Anthony, had a very emotional Instagram post. I don't know if you had a chance to see that, but being a New York kid, and New York being the epicenter in this country of the coronavirus right now, he talks about knowing people directly affected by the coronavirus, people in critical condition, a few who have died. Well, one person specifically who has died, and saying that because of this, he's going to wait to make his announcement. But we all expect Cole Anthony to go pro. Do you think he will?
Yeah, I expect that he will. That is the biggest shoe that we're waiting to drop, would be Cole Anthony. And, you never know. Back in the day, guys like Harrison Barnes, Marcus Smart, they surprised us, and they did. They came back for sophomore years, and then they were drafted really high in the lottery, just as they probably would have been after their freshman year. So I don't discount what Cole Anthony is saying, and I share a geographic region in common with him, and it is a tough time, no doubt about it. And I can definitely understand delaying a decision like this as long as he possibly can, given what's going on in the world. Typically, players in his situation go, and it is a rare exception when they don't. And it's just the shortest distance between 2 points when you're an immensely talented player at his age in his position. But we'll see what he decides.
And you brought up a couple of players, Marcus Smart. I forgot that he ended up coming back. Have you ever seen somebody come back, or is there a player that you can think of who has come back after a really good freshman year, and we're thinking that, hey, this is very obviously a lottery pick that helps their stock? Because it seems like if you're coming back, people would think there's something wrong with that and begin to pick at and nitpick your game to the point to where you fall out of the lottery.
Right. Obviously, you can improve your stock, and the mother of all examples is right in front of us this year. Obi Toppin is a sophomore who's going to go much higher in the draft than he would have if he'd come out last year. People were talking about him a year ago, but he was not projected as a lottery pick. But it's far more rare to see somebody who is being talked of in terms of being a first-round pick after a freshman year and then truly improving their stock, because you can't improve much, once you're up in first round territory. Marcus Smart did come back, going even further back, Blake Griffin came back as a sophomore, but he was not, really projected all that high after his freshman year, and then he killed it as a sophomore. Cody Zeller, kind of an example of the same thing. But again, it's really rare. These players are gunning for the NBA all their lives, and after freshman season, the way the rules break now, that's the first moment when they're eligible, and usually they go. But we'll see what Cole Anthony decides.
Projecting ahead some, John, and this is a question I'm definitely putting you on the spot with this, but the Olympics have been postponed. They're not going to be in 2020. They're going to be in 2021, and we don't know when they're going to be. We don't know. We're assuming it's going to be summer, but it may very well be a late spring type of thing, or early summer type of situation where NBA still playing like playoff games, meaningful games in the regular season. If NBA players don't go, do you expect them to reach out to the college kids and get college kids back on board with the international basketball competition?
Yes, I do. I don't know what the plan B would be there if you did not reach out to college players. I guess you could reach out to American professional players who are not in the NBA, meaning guys who are either abroad or in the G League. But I think you would need a combination of all of the above, basically, college pro guys who are not in the NBA to put together your best American team from outside of the NBA. I am glad I'm not in charge of that. It just strikes me as a logistical nightmare when you don't know when the Olympics are and whether or not it'll conflict with the NBA, much less the college season. Who knows what works best for an entire Olympic Games in Tokyo in terms of weather and everything else they have to deal with. So all bets are off, and we'll see what they can slap together. But the fan in me wants to see the Americans, and that means NBA guys with like the two best college players, perhaps. That's usually been the best formula in the past.
John Gasaway of ESPN. Follow him on Twitter at John Gasaway. John, thank you so much for joining us. I try and keep reading books. I don't know what to tell you in this time, man. I'm trying to find entertainment myself.
Stay safe, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Stay safe, John. John Gasaway. Now it's the moment that John Harden has been waiting for. We got Tiger King Talk. Don't you dare. Tiger King. That's the name of the show.
Joe Exotic.
Tiger King Talk. We got that coming up. Don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hey folks, Ryan here from Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. It's time for the Sunrise Madness Sale. Are you looking for affordable payments? How about next to nothing down? What about guaranteed approval? Well, look no further. Sunrise at Wolf Chase wants to help you say yes to a new car. Over 1,000 new cars in stock. Over 400 used cars in stock. Discounts as high as $10,000. Rates as low as 0%. We've been helping folks for 30 years, and we want to help you next. Call, click, or come on in. Highway 64 in Bartlett, or check us out at sunrisememphis.com. We make it fun to buy a car.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
Your Memphis Tigers football program completed the greatest season in program history with 12 wins, a conference championship, and a berth in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Season tickets for the 2020 season are on sale now and start at just $100 when you buy 4 in the family fun zone or $150 for end zone seating. Get your season tickets by May 15th and receive a free gift, concessions deals, exclusive access to regular season and postseason tickets, and more. Get your season tickets today at GoTigersGo.com or call 901-678-2331. Memphis Tigers football.
Spring has arrived. That means the sale has come to James Davis Men's Store. 20% off on all seasonal sports coats and suits. Oh, that Paul Batenley suit deal still going on. It's been extended. 2 suits for $795. Normally $595 a piece. You're saving $400. They love to give you incentives at James Davis Men's Store. So now you can get $50 off on any purchase of $250 or more. And for years, I've been bragging about those incredible custom shirts, the system that we call Stant. James Davis is the only place you can get those, and now you can do that with pants. With the pants, you just take 2 measurements. It's fed into a computer, and the algorithm spits out a perfect fit try-on pair of pants. They start at $168, and you can get them in casual and dress, 5-pocket or plain front. Only the best at James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. The spring sale is on.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hurt. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
What is this, John?
Stone.
What's the name of the song?
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Is it not up there on the screen? It's got to be on the screen.
Look.
Oh, okay.
I've been around
All right.
for a long, long year. Stole many a man.
What is it? Look now, John.
No, because I'm going to close it and then it's going to come back to me.
Okay. All right.
Because this is embarrassing.
This is good music. So I'm playing that upbeat. You kind of hear us noise. It puts me in the mind frame of something like jungle-ish.
This is Tiger King style.
This does put me in the mind frame of the Tiger King and that tag debacle of a documentary. Hey, get that door.
Joe Exotic wanted you to guess his name.
Get that door for me. Welcome back in for Sports 56 Mornings. Peter and CJ. It's time for your daily Tiger King conversation. I know you people have been watching it. I know you people thirst for it. It's one of John's favorite shows of all time, apparently. It is a struggle for me to get through, man, though, because these people are rough.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you. I don't like these people, and I tend not to watch things I don't like.
Or is it Sympathy of the Devil?
Oh, good grief.
Deadgummit, I can't look at it.
Have you played the song? I don't know. Hey, get that door for me. So we talked about episodes 1 and 2. Just a quick recap. We're gonna try and discuss this without spoiling things, giving out too many. Look at me, Johnny. We're going to try and talk about this without spoiling.
I'm not going to spoil everything.
Or anything. We're going to do our best. One of the things about this, though, that really shocks me is the fact that they have got these types of videos of these people. Like,
that's
really
what's scary.
Really good.
They video everything.
Really good video from.
You know, me and you would be in jail.
Well, yes.
Like
yes.
Seriously,
yes.
we would be in jail.
Really good video from these independent zoos. I didn't know that not only we had independent zoos like this, but that we were also just recording everything. And John talked some yesterday because in the second episode, the Cult of Personality episode, we realized that this is very cultish. Like each one of them, Joe, Carol, and Doc, are cult
Yeah,
leaders.
they're having cult leaders, and
Like,
they get people to
it's
work for them
wild.
for free, or they get to work for nothing, or they get people to like Joe Dirt would go get.
Careful.
Yeah, I'm being
You're close. You're close to spoiling it. But the John is patting his head. He's so worked up about this that it is pretty much a cult, like blood in, blood out. You don't get to leave.
No,
It is
you in. What you in, you in.
And so we pick up with the third episode, The Secret, and we watched The Secret and Playing with Fire yesterday. John, from those two episodes, what stood out to you?
The fact that he had two husbands, he got two husbands now, like, and neither one of the men, by the way, were in any way gay. Like, that is just amazing. Okay, this is I'm okay.
Yeah, well,
that's
John,
not giving too much away.
That's not
You can
giving
tell.
too much away.
But basically, what I'm trying
go
to tell
ahead.
you is this shows. Okay, the reason the tiger makes the show so well is because the tiger is like an apex predator.
Yeah.
Until you see these human beings, and it shows you a tiger ain't got nothing on human beings, because the most apex predator on planet Earth is the human, and they feed on the weak, and that's where this whole show is because a bunch of these dudes that run these tigers prey on human beings, and they feast on other people. Like I said, Joe Dirt on crystal meth with a gun gets two young boys who were not gay to marry him because they were infatuated with the tigers. They were infatuated with guns, cars, money, and all that stuff. And then, of course, are we far enough to where what happened to the one kid? Like, have we had a funeral yet?
John,
I'm just asking you, have we had one?
That's giving a lot away. Careful with
I'm right on the edge, right?
Yes, careful with giving stuff away. I throw John out there, and I find myself constantly
reeling
having
me back
to
in.
reel you in. Careful not
Because
to
I
give
want to
too
get the
much
main
away.
thing is it proves like the show you think is about like at first about like the human, like how we're going to protect these animals. How can we protect these animals? And then you watch the show, and at least for me, the metamorphosis was forget about protecting the tigers. We got to protect people from predators, and the biggest predator ain't a damn tiger, it's the human race. Like sick freaks like Joe Exotica and Doc Antle and Carol Baskins and all these people.
And see, that is, let's touch on
And they
that. because
prey
that
on
is
the weak.
That is the point.
Prey on the poor.
That is the point, I think, of
People
this.
out of jail.
That is the point of all of this.
19-year-old girls.
Is the fact that it misleads you in a way. Like Tiger King, you think it's about, like, okay, what's going on with the tigers? Let's tune in to watch people try and save tigers. Then you realize, hey, they're exploiting tigers. And then the switch happens at the end of the second episode, and then certainly the third episode. You're like, oh my gosh.
The tigers are not the predators.
This is not a show about tigers at all. This has become a cult show.
It's about the fact that, and the dude mentioned Waco in the cult. It's about like we have like a bunch of tiger cults around this country.
And it has become a show now about humanity in a way that at the start I didn't think it was going to be. It is very much how do you protect people from these larger than life characters. We're
And by the
all
way,
looking for role models. We're all looking for guidance. What happens when you choose the wrong role model?
That's exact. And this is the other thing. And like, Joe Dirt chose Doc Antle as his role model. He wanted to be like him, but he was never going to get the women in the harem because he was, of course, gay. So he went the other route. But the other thing about it was, and we're talking about like the predatorial, nature of this flick. Like, you feel for these tigers more than anything. I mean, it rips your heart out. You want to make change in with the tigers, but it also, again, it makes you, I guess, like there's a point where Joe says, you're either a tiger or you're going to get eaten by the tiger. He wasn't literally talking about the meat he was feeding the tiger, because they do show themselves feeding the tigers constantly. And I think that's more of a metaphor.
They have to feed them because tigers are big.
Tigers are huge and they eat a lot of meat and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
But it was more about not what the tigers were eating and how, Joe said, you're either a tiger and you eat or you become the prey. And the tigers are people and the prey are also, unfortunately, people. It's like it's a whole mess up.
We haven't done enough of a background story into Doc and Carol. Like I've got
I'm
Joe.
with you.
We've gotten Joe's background and it makes sense.
Well, see, I couldn't talk about Carol murdering her husband. Can I talk about it now?
John? No. That's you giving stuff away. You see how we're having a broader conversation about humanity based off of the events of the show without having any specific conversation about any specific incidents?
Good point.
That's what we need to be doing. We don't need to be throwing out the fact that happened. Let people watch it and find out, because everybody hadn't watched it, but we want them to listen and go watch it and keep these themes in mind.
Eli watched the whole thing last night.
He watched the whole thing last night.
Couldn't turn it off.
I can't. It is such a chore because these people are so bad.
It's like me.
Bad.
Eli was like me. He's like, dude, you can't turn away because again, it pulls you in, and it's like, wow.
And it pulls you in not because of the stuff on the surface. You know, if you look
it's
at
what's
the
underneath,
bigger
yes.
themes about, here's another one: abuse begetting abuse. That is Joe's story. That is Joey Exotic's story. And we saw that in the first episode. And we learned that about him and how now he is doing things because of that hurt. That hurt has placed him in a position to do some things. And he's passing that hurt down to other people. And John, you've talked about the other theme of, you know, the role models and what happens when you get led astray by a role model, by a hero. And there's a character in there.
The girl
Shut the
from
door.
Doc Antle?
Yes, who gets away.
She escaped the cult.
But like not without serious. I hope she is in therapy.
By the way, you could tell. I think you could tell she was in therapy because of some of. Well, I'm in therapy, so I don't care. I'll tell you. Some of the things she was saying sound like a therapist.
Okay. Like you can pick that up, and you need that after being in an environment where I don't think this is giving too much away, John. If I am, you reel me back in. Where you're working all the time. They were doing like 14-hour, 16-hour shifts.
To midnight, and not getting paid but $100 a week.
And this isn't just Joe Exotic.
Living with cockroaches until you became a harem in Doc Antle's.
All right. See, there you go. You were good initially, and then that statement
that
right
was a
there,
good one. That was just a tease.
Rein it in. All right. But it's not just Joe and Doc. And this is when we see Carol and what Carol is doing.
Freak.
And just look at it like, wait, what? How?
All I gotta
How
say
are you getting
is
people to do this?
Keystone
for
cops
free?
are in Florida right now. That's why, you know why there's so much crystal meth and so many idiots in Florida? Because I realized they don't have any cops that have a brain, it seems like. Did you see the cops that they were talking to in Florida?
I did.
Like, are you kidding me? Those were police officers? I really thought they straight up came across the bridge from Arkansas, straight up high as you know what.
It is.
Party on Beale.
We love the great state of Arkansas. Thank you to our
Oh, yeah, I love
listeners
the
out
natural
there,
state,
Marion
Arkansas. No.
and
I
West
love
Memphis.
Arkansas, but I'm talking about the ones that came to Beale back when I used to work down there.
Oh, okay. All right. So you got
they would cross the bridge.
You got to preface it with that. You can't just throw that out there because it makes it seem like we don't rock.
My
with
bad.
Arkansas.
When I was a young kid,
hogs.
when I was a young fella and worked on Beale Street, the people from Arkansas would come across the bridge.
A certain type of person from Arkansas would come across the bridge.
I would look for that certain type of person because I was almost a young predator now that I watched this Carol Baskin show, like this whole tiger hunter. And I'd be bartending, and next thing you know, like 5 ladies would be decked out to the nines, and they're all like there to dance and watch Kevin Page, and you'd be like, yeah, buddy.
Just pick them out, the easy ones, and that's what's going on.
That's the
with
show.
These independent zoos, and it's not so for Doc. It is certainly women that he is preying on. What makes Joey Exotic so different? He's got my man with the tattoo like right here, like right in his pelvis of Joey Exotic. It says Joey Exotic's right in the pelvis region.
Yeah, and he's not even that.
And so Doc is getting young women. Joe is getting dudes.
Young boys, though, but they're all young. They're all like 19 years old.
Carol is getting grown women. Like, and that is wild
for
to
free.
Me. That is wild to me. That they all have their certain type of person, and you see this, and it shows that we are all susceptible to being misled and led astray if we're not careful.
Carol does
Carol
it with
is
Big
doing-
Cat Rescue, quote. She says she rescues them, but she keeps them in cages just like everybody else. She's doing the exact same thing that Joe and Doc are doing. She's like horrible, but she says that she does rescue, and she was the first to get on like social media. And then she has literally 150 volunteers. And there was one thing that stood out, and I know you saw it. I think it was in episode 4.
Okay.
Where you saw the color of the shirts, like how, well, and then you get a purple shirt after you've been there 7 years.
Like it is.
And it's all free. And she goes, I don't know anybody's name that doesn't wear a purple shirt. And then after I've seen them for like a decade, I'm like, oh, hey, you've been here about 10 years. What's your name? Carol does no work. Takes in all the money.
And this
and pays no one.
This karate-esque style of rank, that is what threw me. Because I was like, wait, in karate, are we trying to get brown belts or whatever? But you see the pink and then the red.
It's a color.
And the blue
Let me
the
get
green
this
and
shirt.
The purple. And you move on.
It's all about status.
Up. And that's another thing. How thirsty are we for status? That is
Fame
also
and status.
in this. Because that is what all of them are doing. They're
Joe
doing
wants
it different ways, though. Joey is getting status by handling tigers and leasing them out to movies. And Doc is doing this to movies also, appearing on television shows.
Ace Ventura.
And others. Shaq is kicking it with Joey Exotic.
Joey Exotic.
And it's a status thing to be seen as the guy with all of the big cats.
And by the
for
way,
Carol,
the fact
it's
that
a
Shaq
status
has 2
thing.
tigers kind of does bother me after watching
Shaq has
the shows.
2 tigers?
He has 2 tigers. He bought 2. You didn't see the episode where he bought? Remember he went home with 2 tiger cubs. And also, again, there's 10,000 tigers that people own are crazy. I mean, Tyson owned a tiger. All this stuff is crazy. But have we gotten to the far enough where the dude takes the tigers to Vegas? No? Okay.
Easy there, John. I'm going to let you feed them. It is just, it's a status thing, though.
Because it even gets into the sex world is what I'm trying to say.
No. Let's just keep it on the
keep it out of Vegas and LA.
No, keep it on the theme, not the events. So the theme is status. John has listed a very good event. Yeah, we've gotten there, I do believe. I think that was episode 4. But we've gotten there. But it's a status thing. People want to come and take pictures with
these
tigers,
cubs.
with the tiger cubs for a status thing.
Somebody put it on their Instagram,
somebody
put it on
has
their Twitter.
Yep, somebody has a very real, life-threatening accident playing around because of a status type thing. This is you. We've got
that
we
was
want
scary.
We want to feel strong, and the camera angle on that, like the camera was right there.
Dude,
They
that
were
can't.
still
By the way,
recording.
the cameramen in this show have some of the most brass ones I've ever heard of in my life. That one camera dude who went running towards the situation, you know what I'm talking about? Like, what the bleep was he doing? He's just a cameraman.
We have people.
Like, are they scared of cameras?
We have people on some of these reserves who have had very real injuries, but they keep coming back because it's they feel strong. Like that feeling of that self-worth feeling.
You losing, like, let's just say you lose a limb, like somebody maybe in one of the episodes. We know about that one by way
But
out.
we don't. Everybody might not have seen it though. But go ahead. Go ahead with what you.
You lose a limb, you going back, and are you feeling bad for the owner who doesn't pay you but $100 a week?
No. But we've got to do with no legs, not because of tigers, but with no legs, working with these animals, and it is very much an esteem thing. It is this gives me purpose, and we are all searching for that purpose. And you can look around and see that, and the one that got out, without giving too much away, she talks about it some. Like I felt like what I was doing was great because I was helping these cubs out, and it gave me
that
a sense
became
of
their
self-worth.
purpose of life.
Yes, and when somebody twists that, takes that self-fulfillment from you and twist it for their own maniacal gains, and make no doubt about it, John, these are some maniacal people. Like it is rough to get out of that and break that hold because it requires you to do something that is very, very hard to do. And that is say, hey, at one point in time in my life, I was wrong. I went about doing things the wrong way. I need to make the change. And it is tough for people to admit that they are wrong. John, your favorite moment, here's your time. One moment, without giving too much away, first 4 episodes, what is your favorite moment, or what has it been so far?
Favorite moment?
Yes.
This is going to be... All right, we've had the funeral, right?
Yes. Don't give too much away, John.
I just have to say, and this is not funny in any way, and it's not my favorite. I guess it was
the
my
moment
most...
that
it was the one that it
stuck
hit
with you the most.
It hit me in my stomach
Okay.
the most, and it made me realize, not for the first time, but literally how sick of an individual he was at the young kid's funeral, and then he made it about himself, and he literally takes a mic and starts singing a song.
Stop. All you had to do, again, I'm going to
And
work
remember,
with you.
he asked
Be
to put those
quiet.
things in his...
Stop it. I've got to work with John on not spoiling stuff, man. We're going to do that during the break. Don't you dare touch that dial. We're going to talk some baseball on the other side. MLB commissioner made some interesting statements yesterday, and MLB is trying to figure out how best to get started. Don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from
Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more.
Right here, R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Don't miss it.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk, chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
We could stay here forever. We deliver olives, Greek sandals, and everything you need to relive that perfect trip to the Mediterranean. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx delivery.
Memories. What we deliver by delivering.
Start your day at Sunrise Memphis. Located in Midtown, enjoy delicious biscuit sandwiches and all their menu has to offer, with quick and easy to-go and delivery options. Whether it's breakfast, brunch, or lunch, don't distance yourself from great food. For more information on Sunrise Memphis, visit sunrise901.com or call 901-552-3144 to place your order. Stay healthy and eat Sunrise Memphis today.
Attention Walmart shoppers. This is a Jackson Hewitt tax service announcement. Save time and money with Jackson Hewitt and Walmart. For a limited time, you can shop while a skilled Jackson Hewitt tax pro prepares your federal tax return for as little as $48, but no more than $149, only at Jackson Hewitt and Walmart. Hurry, this offer won't last. Get your coupon code and terms at jacksonhewitt.com. Then stop by one of our Walmart locations for this limited time offer to get your taxes done while you shop for only $149 or less. That's Jackson Hewitt and Walmart.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
More Hendrix.
Gotta have a little Jimmy at the end.
Welcome back in. Sports 56 Mornings. Text in 67129.
Oh, and
Call
one other
in,
thing. This is important. I'm sorry to
360-8255.
interrupt, but I had to remind everybody. I forgot. Actually, my favorite part was when Joe Exotic ran his governor's campaign
Okay,
for the president of the United States.
All right, there we go. We're good. Because we don't want to tell people too much. Get that door for me.
19%
MLB.
of Oklahomans voted for him.
MLB news. The Commissioner Manfred went out and made some interesting statements yesterday. Spoke about possibly a June start date for Major League Baseball, more doubleheaders, and possibly 7-inning contests. John, you're a big baseball guy. Would you be okay? I know it's a sport, and here's what I was thinking, and others have opined on this thought as well. A sport where numbers matter so much, to change the innings, to move the inning length from 9 to 7. Would you be okay with that?
No.
Okay. Like that's what I
like
thought.
you
I didn't
can't
think
like
most
you
people
don't
would
have
be.
to have as many games, but you don't shorten the damn game.
Because those numbers matter.
You know, there's
It's hard
like
to
an eighth
prorate
and a
those.
ninth inning, and there's a lot of action that happens. And man, dude, people don't like. Could you imagine the outcome of games last year? Go back last year and look at how many games, if you ended the 7th, what would be the outcome at the end? I mean, people come back and win the game. And I understand you can say, well, if they know that the 7th is the last one, that's when they're going to bring in their closers. The whole point is like baseball forever has been 9 innings.
And it changes when you bring the closer in. Like your middle reliever now becomes a closer.
Dude,
Complete
everybody's going to be
games
Tampa Bay and start in 2 innings.
Yeah, complete games wouldn't have the same meaning. The numbers in
Heck,
baseball.
Garrett Cole would probably have a complete game every time for the Yankees.
So that's one of the things to look at. I know we're trying to find the best way to get games back and start these professional leagues back up, or start it up, or started, not started.
I mean,
back up, but started
because
in
of the
case
virus,
the
we don't
MLB.
have 24 less hours in the day when we get back to normal. So therefore, you don't need to shorten a game. We don't need to just go double headers all day long, 7-inning games.
Yeah, I mean, that was my initial thought, but I'm not the baseball guy. Like, I'm the most casual of casual baseball fans. So I wanted to get somebody like yours opinion on it. Also, this is crazy because we got to figure out the service time solution. Like, what's going to happen? I think they ended up getting an agreement met on this. But what happens if the season is shortened, or if, God forbid, the season doesn't start? What happens to me and my contract? Am I going to get a year's worth of experience out of that? So is my contract going to move forward a year? Am I going to become that veteran?
I hate to say this, but like the baseball dudes' contracts, the ones that are actually in the MLB, are the ones that I could care less about. It's the minor league baseball players that I actually give a damn about.
We'll touch on that here in a moment. Mookie Betts immediately comes to mind. The Dodgers gave up a lot to get Mookie for 1 year. If they gave up all of that to get a player like Mookie Betts, and then the season gets canceled and Mookie doesn't have to play for the Dodgers, he
might
gets to
never play.
He gets to hit free agency the next year. Can you imagine how upset you'd be if you're a Dodgers front office member?
Man, Dodgers is going to have to drop $300 million on him to keep him.
To keep him, he didn't play for him in this situation.
Well, you know what I'm saying. They do have a picture with him in a Dodgers uniform, and he had a press conference.
That they do. But you bring up the minor league and their contracts and what's going to happen there, because they're not getting paid the multi-millions of dollars that the majors are getting. They are very much the everydayest of every man.
I can attest they are maybe the poorest of the poor. A very, very good friend of mine, Lou Luca, that I knew very well. I knew too much about what he made, and I was shocked.
It's nothing. It's nothing. You got to have another job, which makes it hard to really hone in on your craft. But what is the MLB going to do about minor leaguers and their contracts? And we talked some in the first segment, John, about these larger entities in our society who have multiple billions of dollars looking out for people who aren't salary, and looking out for the people who financially might be struggling in these times. Minor leaguers would fall into that category of people. I would hope the MLB would do the right thing and make sure that they are getting their salaries. But it's a lot of stuff to figure out. It's a lot of different moving parts to this conversation, and it's wild to think about how the coronavirus has impacted us on a variety of different levels we didn't even imagine. Like, initially, who thought 2 weeks ago when it was announced that we were going to be canceling March Madness. Who thought about minor league baseball players and the ramifications of this on them? Not very many.
Nobody. Everybody's getting smoked.
Everybody.
Except for like Amazon and Walmart and toilet paper companies.
Toilet paper
hey,
companies
do you want to make a toilet paper company with me?
We should.
How do we do that?
I don't know. But I went to 5 different stores to try and find toilet paper for my wife's grandma.
Dude, I'm about to I had my great-grandfather tell me, hey, son, you ever...
Do you need a roll?
He was like, you got corn husks, don't you? I'm like, no, Holmes. I get it in a can.
Do you need a roll? Because I got some rolls. I can give you a roll.
I might have to come by.
I got you. We got JD next. We're going to talk some movies right here on the other side. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Stop waiting and start off-road living in a Can-Am today. The Spring Fever event is now on at Olive Branch Motorsports. Take on every task, trail, and terrain in a Can-Am off-road vehicle that will easily handle anything that comes your way. And for a limited time, get up to $2,500 off on select 2019 models, making it easier than ever to go out and play. Visit Olive Branch Motorsports now at 5656 Goodman Road or online at obmotorcycleatv.com.
I'm Joe Coy, stand-up comedian, and I'm here to toast my mother. Sam Adams is the best beer for this toast. It's grassroots, it's family. What I take from that is the same thing that I got from my mom. Mom, when you came to this country, it was to give the kids an opportunity that you knew that you would never have. Thank you for everything you sacrificed. So this is for you.
I'm so proud of you.
And I love you so much. Oh my God, bottoms up. Slow down, lady.
That's good.
Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Savor the flavor responsibly.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents, which means you're going to start telling your kids to clean up before the cleaning lady comes. Doesn't make sense, but you're the parent and they're the kids. You're going to start telling them that now, too. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance. And there's your opening to remind them who pays the bills around here. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Hi, this is Rob Brown. Join Pete Cordelli and me Saturdays 8 to 9 a.m. for Sidelines here on Sports 56 WHBQ, 87.7 FM and 96.1. We'll cover the Memphis Tigers, the SEC, and your favorite team. Give us a call. That's Sidelines, Saturday mornings, 8 to 9 a.m. Sidelines is presented by Duncan Williams Asset Management. So get up and give us a call.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Oh man, look at my life. 24 and there's so much more. Live alone in a paradise that makes me think of two.
Welcome back. Sports 56 Mornings. Peter and CJ. Or with Peter and CJ, excuse me. No Peter today, just CJ. John on the other side making magic happen. We got JD Durant coming up next. Coming up, and by next, I mean shortly. JD's going to be joining us in just a few. We're going to talk some about movies. Everybody's trying to find something entertaining to do in this time of quarantine. I'm also looking, taking early submissions for quarantine anniversary ideas. My anniversary is coming up in April, and it's not looking like we're going to be allowed to gather in large groups. So I need ideas of what we can do, the wife and I, while we stay in and practice social distancing from everybody else. We're going to be talking with JD, though, about some movies, trying to figure out what we can do, what we can watch, what sports movies are out there that you may want to watch to get a bit of your sports fix. What movies out there might appeal to you as a sports fan, and what movies out there that the kids are like also. JD joins us. He's from In Session Films. Follow them on Twitter at InSessionFilm.com. Check out the website, or on Twitter at InSessionFilm. check the website out, InSessionFilm.com. They do great movie breakdowns, great movie critics. I love listening to JD on In Session Film. JD, my man, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me. I certainly owe you an apology, but I'm glad to be here with you this morning. A lot to talk about.
JD, I mean, I'm assuming time is no longer in your house like it is in my house. I go to bed at super early, and I wake up at 11:30, 11:45 every single day. And it's like, okay, yep, let's get the day started. I have no clue. I forgot that today was Thursday.
Yeah, I have no concept of time right now, and especially when you have a 4-year-old running in your house, that just makes it all the more confused. But so I apologize, but so glad to be here with you this morning, though.
Well, JD, man, how's this first? How are you holding up with the quarantining? You're down in Florida, correct?
Yes, yeah, down in South Florida, which is in our state, the county that I'm in is the worst that we have it here in Florida. So. I'm doing fine, and my son is doing fine, but my wife is a medical professional.
Ooh.
She is a doctor, and I just have to say, though, the doctors and nurses who are putting themselves on the front lines, I admire everything they're doing, and the bravery they show. You know, against an opponent like this, you can't see it. You know, you don't really think about it in those kind of terms, but they really are putting themselves at risk all of the time, and I commend them.
Yeah, we all do. Thank you to everybody on the front line of this thing. Some are fighting it without the medical supplies that they need, and we definitely thank them for their heroism in this time. Is she, if you don't mind my asking, like, are y'all quarantining from her? So does that mean you've got the child all of the time, or are you guys still like mixing and mingling as a family unit?
No, it is somewhat of a process. We are, short answer, we are still all mingling together. The son and I are certainly quarantining at home, but there is a process as far as her coming from work and then having to separate from us while she changes and essentially decompresses, and before we can actually interact. So it is. So you have to kind of get used to that. It is a little bit different, but just taking it one day at a time right now.
All right. So what's one of the things you guys are doing to try and keep entertained in this quarantine time?
Well, yeah, there is a lot going on. On the Hollywood front, that is for sure. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that because the theaters are shut down, Hollywood has decided to push the movies that were in theaters to VOD and streaming. So there's certainly plenty of options there, such as Onward. If you have kids at home, that is now available on streaming, and that I think is coming to Disney Plus on April 3rd. So pretty soon that will be available there. Trolls World Tour, the sequel to the animated film Trolls from a few years ago, that's also coming out on streaming in the next week or so. So that is available to you. If you want to get your sports fix, the Ben Affleck film, The Way Back, is now available on VOD, and I highly recommend that one. Probably Ben Affleck's best work as an actor in some time. He's really, really great. And it's one of those films, it's directed by Gavin O'Connor, who did Miracle. He also did Warrior back in 2011, two films that I love. So if you've seen those two films, especially Warrior, you'll know that Gavin O'Connor loves to create a drama first, a compelling and emotional drama first, and then make it a sports movie. And that's very much what The Way Back is as well. It's an emotional, gripping film about a man dealing with grief, and basketball becomes a coping mechanism. And it's a really good movie. Highly recommend it. That's also available right now as well. And coming in the next week, you have Doolittle, which came out in theaters earlier.
This
in
is the Robert
year
Downey
with
Jr.
Robert
one?
Downey Jr.
Okay.
Yep, that's the Robert Downey Jr. one. And then coming out on Tuesday, you have Sonic the Hedgehog, which came out earlier in the year as well. And one of my personal favorites of 2020, Bad Boys for Life. That'll be available on VOD coming Tuesday as well.
All right, so that's a lot to take in, a lot to watch. I'm trying to, JD, find something mind-numbing, something that allows me to turn my mind and my emotion box off. So what the wife and I have actually started doing is rewatching the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I forgot that a lot of the reason why I have not gone back and rewatched it is because of the hurt I feel at the end of Endgame. And honestly, in some of these movies, I feel like there's been enough time that we can talk freely about this. But the fact that Thor loses his mom, and in the second Thor, like that really hit me kind of hard, like unexpectedly hard. And going back and watching it, it was just, my God, there's so many emotions tied up into these things.
Yeah,
it hurts, man. It hurts.
It does. Well, that's what 10 years of good storytelling will get you. And, you know, I love that even as we got to Infinity War and Endgame, they didn't forget those little touches and nuances that we had experienced all these, you know, all those years ago. And Chris Hemsworth, especially as Thor in those latter two movies in Infinity War and Endgame, it's genuinely some of the best acting I've seen in a blockbuster film. He's really, really great, especially Infinity War. The character has there. It's very moving. It is touching, and certainly continues into Endgame as well. Yeah, I'm with you. I haven't revisited some of those films in recent time, but yeah, now is as good a time as ever.
JD, I'm telling you, they hit differently. The emotions that you feel in those movies hit differently. One, because you know how it's going to end, but two, because you're watching it again for the second time. And so the interaction that Thor has with his mother, it is, oh my gosh. In Endgame, when he goes back in time to get the stone and talk to his mom, or sneaks off to talk to his mom, that hit me, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to hold it in. And the only reason I'm beginning to fear I was able to hold it in that moment is because I hadn't just watched the movie. Like that was 7 years ago, when from the time Endgame was released to Thor, the second Thor Dark World. And it is, okay, I can hold, because that emotion, that wound is not fresh. We're finishing them up tomorrow, JD. That I'm going to cry. We talk about a toilet paper shortage. I need Kleenexes. Like, I'm going to cry when that part comes up, and I know it, and I'm trying to get ready for it. But even little things like Sam first meeting Captain America with the on your left, and then in Endgame when he comes back with the on your left. It is just, oh my gosh, I almost cried in that moment at the start of the movie. My wife is looking at, why are you crying? What is going on? It's like, nothing. Don't worry about it. It is. I'm thinking about Endgame. I'm sorry. It's wild, but you pick up on a lot of things that you may have missed.
Yeah, and I think that's why I commend the performances, because they certainly make you feel it. I also think of the moment with Hawkeye and Black Widow there on the cliff, and you think about and reminisce about all of their experiences over the course of all these films and their interactions and what that means for them, especially coming off the heels of what we saw with Hawkeye earlier at the farmhouse. Even going back to Age of Ultron, that farmhouse scene, I think, is one of the best scenes in all of the MCU. Then we, of course, see what happens, and he turns vengeful, and it's really great storytelling. I agree. I mean, it is affecting. You're not the only one to cry when those moments come up. I can assure you of that.
JD Duran is joining us. Follow him on Twitter at InSessionFilm, and check out the website InSessionFilm.com. Check out the podcast, the In Session Film podcast. Great movie critiques. Before I see a movie, I listen to the podcast to see whether or not it is something, if I'm kind of on the fence about, it's like, okay, what's my man JD got to say about this? And then I make my decisions accordingly. If JD likes it, I go see it. If he doesn't, it's like, okay, all right, I'll wait till it comes to video. I didn't think I was going to see Frozen 2 this soon, but because it's streaming on Disney Plus, we did decide to watch that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about another emotional movie for me? I'm not big into the Frozen saga, but man, the juxtaposition betwixt the two sisters from where Frozen ends and where Frozen 2 picks up and what they're going through, even as sisters, Anna really wants that unity to be there, and you've got to understand, and this is what I feel like she has to understand in the movie, like just because somebody is growing without you doesn't mean that they've forgotten about you or they don't want to be around you or that they don't love you. You can't let your fear of losing that person stop you from growing and stop them from growing also. And that movie had me all shook up also. The scene, I don't want to give too much away, but what happens with my man Olaf, I tried JD. Maybe you can help me understand why it's so hard for me to dislike Olaf. I want to dislike that annoying snowman so much, but I can't. I can't. So what happens to him in the movie hits me hard also, man.
Yeah, I know. I think what I admire about Frozen 2 is that it's surprisingly and subtly a bold movie. Like it makes choices that a lot of animated films don't. And in some ways, if you simply look at it on its face, it's a strange movie. It's kind of odd, and I admire that Disney was willing to take those risks. I think it really pays off, and I agree with you. Its themes are certainly darker and more adult than you would think, even though I think the first film is kind of bold in its own right as well. But yeah, Frozen 2, I think, is underrated. You know, it didn't even get an Oscar nomination, which is kind of mind-boggling because it always seems as if Pixar and Disney are locked in the animated category to at least get a nomination, and it somehow missed out. And I kind of think that's a tragedy because it's one of the better animated films of last year, I think, given what it's tackling in terms of grief and friendship and sisterhood and what it does with Olaf. I agree with you. It's pretty poignant when that moment comes later on in the film. And also with Olaf, speaking of juxtapositions, as moving as that sequence is later on in the film, that moment where he's recapping the events of the first film is blisteringly hilarious. It is so funny.
So good. So good. Moving on from a kid movie and the cartoons for just a moment, I was looking forward to the next 2-3 months in movies because there were a couple of scary movies I was super excited to see. Candyman and the new Saw movie with Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. I was really excited to go to theaters and see those, but it's not looking like that's going to be possible. Hopefully they throw those up on streaming immediately, JD, to help your boy out. But I'm in the mood. Yeah. Those movies, those previews got me in the mood for scary movies. What scary movies out there might be streaming to get my attention that I should be watching?
Yeah, the first film that immediately comes to mind for me is The Invisible Man. That's one of those films that did release in theaters a few weeks ago, but because the theaters are shutting down, it's now available already on VOD. So people can go and watch that right now, and it's very good. In all honesty, if the year somehow ended right now and there was no more movies in 2020, that would be my number one. That would be my best picture of the year. I think it's really, really great. Elizabeth Moss, who gave my favorite performance of last year, gives another stunning performance. She's really, really terrific. And it's a movie that speaks to our time. It's a movie about an abusive relationship where we don't see the abuse. We, as the audience, are forced to believe her. We are forced to believe her because of the authenticity in her emotions, the stories that she is telling. Even though we've never seen the abuse, you can still see the ramification. But the film leaves the audience to decide. Do you believe her or not? And given our current society and how things have evolved since 2016, 2017, it's certainly a movie for our time. I really respect the film for that. And even if you remove that, it's an incredible thriller. It's a great drama that works, that takes advantage of its premise of this invisible man, but making it more modern and more 2020 in that way as well. So it's a really great film. Certainly has its thrills, so will satisfy in that way as well. Don't watch the trailer if you haven't. The trailers do reveal some of the best moments, I think.
Oh, I hate that.
It's very good. Yeah, I know. They got to sell the movie, so I get it. But yeah, avoid the trailer if you can. Go in blind. It's very, very good.
So, and you brought up thriller, and I feel like that's a genre. And again, JD, I'm 50,000 feet up my huge view. I'm not the movie expert that you are, but it seems like we're not making that genre of movie anymore. Am I wrong?
No, you're not necessarily wrong. The issue with it is getting people to the theater under normal circumstances.
Right.
The thriller films typically fall in that mid-budget, and those mid-budget movies just don't get made anymore. Same thing with romantic comedies. They just don't get made a whole lot anymore because they don't make as much money.
Okay.
The major studios tend to focus on these tentpole films, hoping that it draws in millions of dollars. So if those films are getting made, they're typically being made by smaller studios. Sometimes they get theater releases, sometimes they don't. But in general, you're right. There's far and few in between. That's for sure. If you want a good thriller, a lot of the time you need to look at the independent studios.
Okay.
And that may take some effort on your part, or you can listen to In Session Films. We certainly do that for you. But because they are there, but not as mainstream as they used to be.
Yeah, and I like to try and get off the beaten path from time to time because, like you said, those independent studios do some really good movies. And here in Memphis, we got to get you up here for one of these Indie Memphis movie festivals. Like, and you get a lot of those types of movies, and they're great. They're great if you get the right one. One of those movies that's in my queue, and I saw you and Brendan talk about it, and I think that's why I ended up adding it to my queue on Netflix. I lost I think I lost my body. Or no, I lost my body. The cartoon movie. What is that? Should I go ahead and pull the trigger and watch that now?
Yeah, that's a very good movie. It is an animated film.
Mm-hmm.
Do not watch it with kids, though. It's a very heavy film. It's not for kids, even though it is animation. It is an adult film through and through, and it is brilliant. It is a very, very good film, artistically so well crafted. It's also in French. I believe, though, Netflix did have an English dub version, so that is there. Although I recommend the French version. There's something about that, having that authenticity that I think amplifies and enhances the experience. But either way, it's very good. Kind of heavy, so you have to be prepared for it, but it's unique. It's very unique. It's a film that has two perspectives, one from this little boy who is coping with grief. The other half of the movie is from the perspective of a severed hand, which is strange. It's unique and bizarre, but it all comes together in some pretty poignant ways at the end. It's great. So, and it's on Netflix, as you mentioned, so it's very accessible.
All right, JD, we'll get you out of here on this one. Couple of kids movies, putting you on the spot here. A couple of kids movies, because everybody's at home with their kids, and sometime if you're here, it's going to be raining a whole bunch. What are some kids movies? We talked some about Frozen 2. What are some other ones that will keep the kids entertained and occupied in this quarantine time?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Onward is also available right now. That's coming to Disney Plus soon. Trolls World Tour is coming out on VOD, I believe April 10th, so you can be on the lookout for that as well. If you have Disney Plus, obviously they have all of the Pixar films up there. If you have kids that are a little bit older, or if you're like me and have a 4-year-old and just forget all the ratings, one thing that I've been doing is introducing my son to the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Ooh, I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, and he's all over them. In fact, he's in the other room right now watching the first one. so he's fallen in love with those movies, and I haven't seen them in a long time. And honestly, that original trilogy is very good, especially that first film, The Curse of the Black Pearl, is genuinely a great popcorn flick. So you can watch all of that. Certainly a lot of entertainment out there for young kids, especially on Disney Plus. But even if you just have Amazon or Hulu, there are usually channels built in that can help you with all of that as well.
Here's my thing with the Pixar movies and with Disney movies here recently. They just hurt me so much, JD. I don't from the first 10 minutes of Up to Inside Out. What happens to the imaginary friend? To all of them have those themes. We even talked about Frozen too, with those very adult, grown up themes for that's put in there for the parents, because while Monsters University or Monsters Inc. might be a kids movie on the surface, Pixar and Disney have both realized kids are in theaters with their parents. You got to put something in there for the parents. Why can't they put something in there a little bit less heavy, but that doesn't pull at my emotional string so much, man?
That's what they do. You mentioned that moment with Inside Out. I think what's so great about that film is you have a moment like with Bing Bong, but it's also a film that teaches you that sadness is okay, that it's okay to cry, that sadness leads to the other side of the fence, so to speak. Like joy and sadness are intimately tied together. I mean, that's something a lot of adults I don't think realize either. So there's something about Pixar, Disney, they're able to tap into something that is universally attainable. And they have a formula, and they know how, and they know how to work it.
Pick between Toy Story 4 and what's the other one that got me? Ooh, Toy Story 3 got me. Toy Story 4, Monsters University. Like, all of them have these moments where it is very much for grown-ups at that point. It is no longer for kids. Coco. That was the one I couldn't think of. My God, Coco. Can't watch them again because, nope, I don't want to put myself through that type of emotional abuse. And yet I'm probably going to watch Onward, and I'm pretty sure your boy's going to be crying by the end of Onward also, man.
Yeah. And on that same token, though, if you want something that isn't Disney but also knows how to provoke you intellectually and emotionally, watch the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I think they're as good as anything Pixar and Disney's ever done. Okay. That trilogy is phenomenal. So watch those as well.
All right. That's JD Duran of the In Session Film Podcast. Follow them on Twitter at In Session Film. JD and Brendan do a great job. Look for the podcast. It's in wherever you get your favorite podcast is there. Go ahead and grab that. And also check out the website, InSessionFilm.com. JD, thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
JD Duran. We got more to come on the other side. Special guest, Kevin Cerrito. We held on to that one. Yep. Got special guests coming through on the phones. And by coming through, I mean on the phones, because we got to be socially distanced. And that is not Johnny on the other side. John, have you been doing push-ups or something?
I'm sorry?
Oh, that's Gabe. That's Gabe Coon, ladies and gentlemen, on the other side.
Yeah.
I was like, John grew some facial hair and got big and swole. Oh, grew a couple inches. No, that's Gabe, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Upon official review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need to get ready for the game. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
It's not too early to start planning for spring at Family Leisure. New pools are starting at $19.99, spas starting at $21.99, and swim spas now only $99.99. 5-piece patio furniture starts at only $799. Pool chemicals, toys, accessories, and more up to 20% off. Mention this ad, you'll get free delivery and 1 month of chemicals with your spa purchase. Start your spring planning now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
There's a new commissary in town. In Collierville, Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
Welcome back in. Sports 56 Mornings. Sun is out. Sun is shining. It is 66. John and I took the under on the 85 as the high. We took the under. Ugh. It's supposed to get up there, though. I don't know, man. I'm looking at it.
Isn't the high a high because it's not supposed to get much higher than that? Right? So, like, taking the under would be
the smart thing
that
to
would
do.
be like.
I don't know. I thought the high was like at some point in time during the day, we're going to hit this number. Am I wrong? I don't know how meteorology works.
I thought it was like the high. It's the highest it's supposed to get.
Right.
So, like, taking the under would be like a very easy play.
But it has to hit that number, though, just once. Just if it hits that number for 1 second, then we're out. And they're telling us it's supposed to hit that number.
We shall see.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying that I went out on a limb, Gabe. I'm just saying I took the under. That's all I'm saying. You don't go out on a limb to pick Alabama to beat the hell out of Southeast Missouri State. You're just picking them to beat them. This is my Southeast Missouri State, Gabe. This is my warm-up to this weather gambling game.
That's fair.
Thank you. Welcome back in. It is 66 outside. Sun is out. Looks like it's going to be out all day. It's a good time for you to get out of the house and observe 6 feet, but maybe walk around the block a little bit, get some exercise in. We're all trying to figure out different things to do. Kevin Cerrito joins us right now with one of these different things to do. Kevin, as most of you know, has a show on Sports 56 on Saturdays. I started off as a assistant producer on that show, intern on that show, and kind of worked my way up. And Kevin does trivia. Kevin joins us now. How's it going, Kevin?
Hey, greetings and salutations, everybody. Yeah, my show currently on hiatus right now.
Yeah.
To go through the coronavirus situation. But, yeah, this is my first time on your show. This is
awesome. Look at this. It's wild. Look at how everything comes full circle, man.
It takes the entire country shutting down.
Yes.
And being impacted by this virus to bring me on your show. But sure. We have to live
that is what it takes. Yes.
But I'm glad to be here.
How have you been holding up with that Rona? I know it's impacted the business side of your life, but how's everything else been being cooped up in the house? You doing anything entertaining, interesting to try and kill time?
I've been doing stuff that's productive and really getting ready
You're
for
one
it.
of those people?
It's either productive or spending more time with my daughter, right? So that's the exciting thing. That I've got a baby. She's about 7-8 months now, and it's great to spend extra time, spending lots of extra time with her, but also getting stuff done around the house, and also preparing tonight. So tonight there's a virtual trivia that we're doing. So I've been preparing for that, which we were planning on doing last week, but there's a lot more prep that goes into it, and than just a regular trivia night. But also, I was coughing last week. I might have, this in all seriousness, I was sick until in the past 36 hours. I've been feeling better. So, yeah. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've either being sick or nothing fun. I've been streaming a little bit. I just started Tiger King yesterday, so I had to tune out earlier when y'all were giving some spoilers away.
Yeah, it's hard to get John under control. He is really excited about Tiger King. He's trying to tell everybody everything that's happened.
It's so good. It's so good, and I'm glad it is there. Netflix. A lot of people, in the streaming wars, you've got to decide between Netflix and you got Disney Plus, and you've got Hulu and Apple TV Plus. You've got Peacock. Everybody's trying to make. You can't have all of them, or especially right now with some people out of work.
Mm-hmm.
So Netflix still though they are the kings of these true crime documentaries. If that is your thing, you have to subscribe to Netflix because they just have. Just the documentaries, most of them, the ones were revolving around true crime. They do such an excellent job, and so far so good on this one. It reminds me a little bit of a podcast I listened to that you can't say the name of on the radio. The S-Town podcast.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, a little bit. So far, I'm getting those vibes.
How far
for a lot of different reasons. I'm only 2 episodes in, so
okay.
Gonna be done, I'm sure, by Saturday.
Yeah, it is the interesting themes that emerge, and this is where they get you. They got me like this with "Don't Mess with Cats," and I try not to be a
that's a good one
murder porn watcher. I try not to be a true crimes watcher because it sticks with me for a while. But the overarching themes of self-worth and people preying on the vulnerable. And the vulnerable you think are the Tigers, but it's not the case. It is not the case, and you're about to find out who the vulnerable are here in just a moment. Those themes in the show really stuck with me and really hit home. Now I'm only 4 in, so I've still got 3 more to do. But it is a show that'll get you and captivate you. I can see how some people would be willing to. Gabe sat down and watched the first 6 in a day. I can see how it can get you and grip you and take large chunks of your day away, especially when there's nothing else to do.
Oh, absolutely. We probably would have watched it all if not. I mean, we hit bedtime for the baby, right? So we had to stop, and otherwise we would have kept going. So I would have finished it. But it's awesome.
All right, so tell us
more. We have
about
the streaming, how hard it's difficult for streaming, but I'm preparing. This is just the beginning. Who knows if I'm not trying to scare people, but I'm concerned that the internet might go out. So you need to watch as much streaming, and everybody needs to be preparing in the event that the internet goes down. What is your plan? Do you have stuff saved on flash drives? Do you still have DVDs and Blu-rays to watch or access to those? Because you need to have how am I going to pass the time if the internet's not working?
If everybody's on the internet highway, only so many of us can be on it at a time. And you've got to think that there are gamers, there are people on YouTube, all of the various social media sites, and the major streaming services, and people who are on there trying to just get information about what is going on in the world. So, let's be mindful about our internet usage, something I didn't think would ever run out. I didn't think we'd ever get to this point. But, yeah, you're right, because over in Europe, we've seen Netflix agree to slow down their streaming services. We've seen Disney Plus put off launching in France because of internet service concerns and not wanting to overload the superhighway that is the internet. So, yeah, you're right. You got to be mindful about those things.
Netflix itself was overloaded yesterday, I believe, and people were unable to access their account sometime yesterday afternoon. So it's So I'm going to do my part to make sure the internet gets shut down by live streaming trivia tonight.
Tell us about the trivia that you're launching that's going to shut down the internet.
All right, so as you know, CJ, my outside of myself, you were the longest. You've been the first guy actually who started really hosting stuff for Cerrito Trivia that wasn't my name, that wasn't me. No, there's not other people with my name that are hosting. It was just me, so not me. But so we're unable to. There's some the impact of this pandemic. It goes further than just putting me on your radio show. And as we know, we've got bars and restaurants closing down all over, and the impact of this is going. It's just every day I'm just realizing, okay, well, this is really going to hurt this business or this business or this business. For me, like I've been watching this and following the story since, I believe it was January 23rd. I think I asked a trivia question about the coronavirus, right? When it was just ravaging through China. And so I've been following the story because it's also a big concern to me. And you find, okay, Italy's shutting down. And there's something, well, how am I going to run my business? Because we know the bars and restaurants are struggling and they need your help and they need your tips and they need your takeout money. And we still have some of our trivia locations that are open. But the trivia business works by me attracting people. It's reverse social distancing is really what trivia is, right? It's a complete reverse of the solution. So there is we have a solution. We don't have a cure yet, but we possibly have a solution to this problem. And the solution is the complete opposite of what I do to earn a living. So we can't go to bars. We can't go to restaurants. We can't play trivia there. And so I'm bringing the game to the people tonight, and they're going to be able to play from the comfort of their own home. We're having a virtual edition of Cerrito Trivia. It's going to be on Facebook Live this evening, 7 p.m., which is our regular start time. Usually Thursday nights, I'm at the Memphis May Tap Room hosting what it will be tonight, which is general knowledge trivia, which is a bunch of hodgepodge of questions like science, history, geography, current events, sports, food, TV, movies, music, and more. So we're going with trivia tonight. How the prizes will work and the scoring will work, I will let you know at 7 o'clock when you tune in on that. But you will be able to. So we're not going to play. You're not really playing as teams tonight, DJ.
Oh.
You're not really playing as teams. You're playing as quarantines, right?
Oh, okay. I see what you did there. The quarantines. I see it.
You see that? So really you are playing as a team. And you can assemble your team wherever and however you want. So if you... digital, if you want to get on Skype, if you want to get on FaceTime to get your team to go, Google Hangouts, or just do a conference call, or if some of your team members live with you and you're quarantined with them, and as long as you're practicing social distancing, you can play in person. However, you want to assemble your team, you can assemble your team to participate tonight. But I'll be live streaming, asking trivia questions on Facebook Live. It's going to be on the Cerrito Trivia Facebook, so facebook.com/Cerrito Trivia. It's also linked off of CerritoTrivia.com. Obviously free to play, as all of our events are. We're wanting to do something that some sense of normalcy out there for folks, and just forget about what's been going on just for a couple hours. And that's what we'll try to do.
Yeah, for those of you who have never played Cerrito Trivia, is a whole lot of fun. And as we get deeper into this thing, there's only so many chapters in the book you can read. There's only so much times or so many times you can play Uno or Dominoes or something like that. This is a nice change of pace activity for you and your quarantine to participate in. Kevin is on Facebook.com/Cerrito Trivia, right?
Right. You go to CerritoTrivia.com too, and you can click on that. It's all on my social medias at Cerrito. I know you'll be retweeting it at Con Radicalness on Twitter. So lots of different ways you can find the link. But we'll be starting at 7. The plan is for it to last no longer than what a regular trivia night would be, which we always try to wrap up under 2 hours. So I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
All right.
Did you want me to ask you any trivia questions right now?
Shoot one. We got to get to a break. One question real fast.
Oh, well, here's a sports question because
Okay.
I haven't been on the radio. I haven't been able to talk about wrestling. Tell me what former NFL star is hosting this year's WrestleMania?
Gronk, baby.
It is, right? Yeah.
There we go.
There's one sport still happening, and that is professional wrestling. It is sports entertainment.
Check them out, Facebook.com/Cerrito Trivia, or go to
No wrestling questions tonight. No wrestling.
Okay, or go to CerritoTrivia.com. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us, man. We got to do this again soon.
You.
Next pandemic, we'll do it.
All right, sure, yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll make that a tradition. All right.
Thanks, Kevin. Kevin Cerrito. We got to get to a break. We got more to come, though, on the other side. Eric Dickerson is set to step in because of that Rams logo, and Joe Buck is doing some really, really fun stuff. Don't you dare touch that dial. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ right here on Real Sports Talk, 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hilo Commercial Services can help protect your workplace and employees. Call Hilo Commercial Services today to help mitigate the dangerous effects of the coronavirus and the flu virus. Hilo offers complete deep cleaning and sanitizing services for schools, churches, medical facilities, office buildings, residential, warehouses, and more, all customized to your needs. Put safety first with Hilo Commercial Services. Call Philip right now at 901-277-6733. 901-277-6733. It's time for Hilo Commercial Services.
Lowe's Pro Bonus Days are back with 5 days of pro-grade deals to help you save big, now through Friday, March 27th. Check out DeWalt's new lineup of 20-volt Max XR tools featuring Power Detect. And during Pro Bonus Days, save $100 on a DeWalt 20-volt Max XR with Power Detect brushless cordless drill and impact driver combo kit, now just $299. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Tool offer valid through 4/1. U.S. only while supplies last.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Welcome back in. Ooh, feel like I went through puberty there. My voice cracked a little bit. In? Welcome back in. grown-ass man. Voice on crack. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Special thank you to all of our guests today, from John Gassaway to Kevin Cerrito to J.D. Duran. Eric Dickerson does not like the new Rams logo. Like everybody. Nobody likes that. Gabe, do you like the logo?
No. Do you?
No. No, I don't.
So I think there's like 4 different styles of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the ram head itself is actually all right.
Okay.
But the LA with the horn around it,
Mm-hmm.
not a fan. It's just not a fan at all.
Eric Dickerson sent this tweet out yesterday, I guess. I don't know. Time is relative now. I've lost all concept of time in this quarantine time. Fans, at Rams NFL fans, I've reviewed your comments regarding our new logos and share in your disappointment. I'll be speaking with the Rams on our behalf. Please like if you prefer the logo on the left and retweet for the logo on the right. Dash the Rambassador. He calls himself the Rambassador. The logos that he's shown, I like the one on the right of said tweet. Go check it out. I'll retweet Eric Dickerson if you missed it, but go check it out. The one on the left is cool too, though.
I really hope he doesn't think that this is going to make a difference. They have made their decision. This is final. This is what their logo is going to be.
I mean, but if everybody is upset about it, like,
think they're
you
going to do
change it,
like the Tigers with their court.
Yes, although there was a very large reason as to why.
Two large reasons.
Two large reasons why the Tigers decided to change their court. But yeah, we've seen it. Think about the Pelicans mascot. You remember how scary he looked initially, and they softened that up a little bit? Now, on the other hand,
it's a mascot.
And Gritty is still out here bopping about for the Flyers. He's with the Flyers, right?
Yeah, and he supposedly punched a kid.
He's scary. So I don't know. If you're trying to sell team merchandise, it would behoove you to pick a different logo, because that is just that is easily one of the worst logos, not only in the NFL but in all of sports. Joe Buck has been finding a way to stay busy. He's been doing things. He's out here. We told you Monday, I think Joe Buck, Sunday night, Joe was like, hey, listen, I know we're in quarantine, but send me some videos of you doing some things. I want to practice on my craft some, so send me some videos of you doing stuff. So here's a bit of the compilation, in case you missed it, of Joe Buck just calling regular everyday events.
Little play fake. Jab to the left, now breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. Is the turquoise ball ever going to be caught? That's the question. It's getting tighter. It looks like a 4-marble race. Oh, we've had an accident, and now the turquoise ball is behind. Now he's got it. A bullseye. It's happened. Tom Martin has stunned himself. And two-handed. Whoa! Wow! Back into his face, and now Adam doesn't feel so good. Sorry, I love you. Kiss. Life's hard. Suck it up. That's just the way things work in this world. Again, beautiful shot. Here's a video that you don't want to watch anytime near lunch. This will absolutely light your world up. And this turquoise ball now is running fourth, now is running third, and making a move. Making a move and following the same path as the two in front, now in second, and trying to get now back out in front. The turquoise ball, unbelievable. Marty with a D. Banks it off the backboard. Couple of bounces, a roll, and oh my God, haters will say it's fake. Loses the hat and takes it in for the touchdown. Wow. Absolutely determined to not be denied. Retrieves it.
Oh, man. It's great. For those of you who might be a bit lost, the marble race. I think we all were captivated by that marble race for a while. He was calling that as it was going on.
I can't lie, though. My favorite one here is he was at home. This was the first one he did, I believe.
Yeah.
With his kid and his wife. His wife was basically comforting his kid.
Yeah.
And this is what that sounded like.
This is called negotiation, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you want to watch?
Michelle on the left is trying to prepare
quiz?
dinner. Wyatt on the right, fighting back a yawn, dressed like
watch a Blippi?
kind of a half-assed Fred Flintstone. And he wants to watch Blippi, folks. Oh, and he's hit his mom. He has hit his mom. Mom is playing it up. Wyatt is crying. All hell is broken loose inside this house. Quarantine day 7.
Quarantine day 7. You felt the aggression in his voice in that moment.
I was tempted to send in a video, but I didn't even know what I would send in a video of. I've just been watching TV.
Have you done laundry? Have you sorted your clothes?
Oh, that's
laundry?
a good point. Yeah,
Dishwashing.
I have.
Yeah, that would be a good video to send them. Let them call the way you are sorting your clothes. Cooking would be another one. Cooking would be another thing to do if you got kids. Maybe Rob Fisher, friend of the show, guest of the show, has been on the call for his daughter's scooter competition and her trampoline Olympics gymnastics routine. So those are some things you can send them. A thrilling game of Scrabble, you can send him a video of that. I don't know, man. There's so much going on. So much you can send him a video of. Man, things we are doing without sports, just trying to get by. Middays is next with Eli and Gabe. It's going to be a great show. I know you guys don't want to touch that dial. Gabe, what y'all got going on?
We got Andy Kennedy, new coach over at UAB. Greg will join us at 11. Then Damian Ryder, a workout professional at 11:25.
All right. All that and more on the other side. Don't you dare touch that dial. Thanks for listening.
Your Memphis Tigers football program completed the greatest season in program